What is this foolishness?
How many dreams can you shape in a minute, an hour?
The kind of clean you like best.
Lost 3 of my teeth, too. All right, so you lost. Next time you'll win.
Steamy, hot, hearty, delicious, invigorating.
Folks at home, how you doing tonight? Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. I know we are. Welcome to a brand new Ike Live show. Man, we got a good one for you tonight. And I know you're looking around, you're saying, man, you got a packed house here. And we do. We have a packed house. We got great guests. This is going to be an interesting show. First and foremost, Pete, I usually do this a little later, but I want to get it out of the way real quick because the world's crazy right now. Shout out to our military, our policemen, our firemen. Thank you guys and girls for what you do. Crazy world. Thank you for your service.
First responders moving on Florida right now.
Oh, yeah.
Special.
Yeah.
Thank you to you guys. I saw the linemen all staged at 30,000 linemen.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Going down there to do work and help folks out. And my aunt went through the eye of the storm.
Wow.
Down there, and we were in the dark with her for 36 hours, and and she's fine, and her whole community's coming together, and they're figuring out.
That was scary. That must have been scary because the lost communication, right? The internet that is down, the electric's out, so those meant that many days without hearing from her. That was scary.
Oh well, it's my mother's sister, so you know we're all going through our list of contacts. I called Johnny Veneur. I'm calling all my people that have houses in Florida, trying to find somebody that might be able to get down to Arcadia and do some kind of recon for us.
Yeah, Broderick's down there.
Yeah,
he is.
Had I known, I would have had him make a drive.
Yeah, we have some images of that. We'll be showing just a little bit.
But that's going into the dark, you know, when that electric goes out, you know, and you saw it all over the internet. The families were all, you know, suffering like we were, losing contact. But Tina, one of her neighbors, had a generator. We found her, found my aunt, and we all were, everybody's okay. Scary stuff. But thanks so much for all the first responders down there.
Thank you, guys. We got a great show for you tonight. It's going to be awesome. In addition to having a great crew here in studio, we got some great guests coming on. First things first, let's get the sponsors out of the way real quick. We got a great team here backing us, especially Mystery Tackle Box. And Brian the Carpenter, I know you know this, but we will be doing a live unboxing tonight. Is that correct?
That's correct, sir.
Third segment. Great product, man. If you're at home, if you want something shipped right to you, it's a great way to try new products. Check it out. It's Mystery Tackle Box. If you go over there, man, here's the deal right here. Just use the promo code. It's Ike Live, and you're going to get 30% off your first Elite Box, 50% off your first Pro Box. And that Pro Box is the bomb. Pete, you know that. You switched up. It's the bomb. That Pro Box is the deal.
It's really good stuff. You're going to love it. It's going to get baits in your hands that are really top-end baits. And we talk about it all the time. Stuff that we would never, maybe a color we would never try, a depth zone we might not explore. But now I got this really cool bait, and it opens up a lot for me.
It's cool.
You know,
such a cool product. Also brought to you by Founders beer. Man, Founders is awesome beer. If you like drinking beer like we do, it's a great beer. Here's the big news. Oktoberfest is now out, officially out in stores.
No kidding.
We're not drinking it yet because we don't want to let go of summer. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying, Paul? We want to imagine in our mind that it's still summer. So we're still drinking the all-day chill day, the all-day vacay. You know what I mean? We're not ready to release that concept of summer yet. So we're still drinking this stuff. You know what I'm saying? But Founders is awesome. The Oktoberfest is out. Go to the Founders, Founders.com or the Founders app. It's the coolest thing. Go to the Founders app. You just put your zip code in, Pete. It's going to show you where you can get it. Bar, takeout, whatever. Check that out. It's really good. Also brought to you by the Ike Foundation. Great tie-in today with the Ike Foundation because today was the Ike Foundation kayak event. and we may have the champion sitting right here to my left as soon as I enter the room here in a second. But Ike Foundation,
awesome.
great thing going on, trying to get kids fishing. Head over to ikefoundation.org if you want to find out more information on how to get that going. Brought to you by Bash University. Pete, give us an update. BU, I know classes are coming. That's exciting.
It really is exciting getting face-to-face with everybody.
It's great to hear, Pete. Thank you.
You're welcome. Check out thebashuniversity.com, and our classes in South Carolina and Alabama are there.
Yeah.
Early bird specials going on right now.
There you have it. And last but not least, Tackle Warehouse. Everybody I know shops Tackle Warehouse. Everybody. Even the guys that have the big giant Bass Pro Shop logos on their boats and their hats. I see it all the time. They shop at Tackle Warehouse. You know what I'm saying? So, but we got a great thing going on right now if you're a Tackle Warehouse shopper. 25% off fall sale is going on, I think, and there's a penis on the bottom of that board. So, without further ado, let me tell you about the show we got going on
There really is, by the way.
Yeah, we got a great show. Let me intro the room, starting to my right. Yes.
Can we grade it?
The penis? Yeah.
It was Jake's first, right?
Yeah, we'll have to show this to everybody in a second. I would
towards
say,
the end,
I mean,
maybe.
I'm not giving it a 10. I'm going to go like
Hey,
this.
no, be a critic, man. Don't just hand
All
out
right.
good scores.
It's not an arrow, which thank you for not being an arrow or like on a street sign
Hold on, Jake.
penis. It's okay. It's average. I would give it a 7. I'm going to give it a 7, Brian.
Let me check it out.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 7.
It's got a big head. I'd give it like a 6. Not my best work.
Yeah, I mean the projectiles coming out of there, I would give it extra. But it would actually have been like a 6.8 if it wasn't for the projectiles. Projectiles going to bump it up just a couple points. But anyway,
I say it's short and unimpressive, non-threatening.
yeah.
All right.
Well, okay.
Carry
Got
on.
a good stream, though.
Does have a nice drink. Yeah, it must be young.
Strong.
What intro of the room? Sitting to my right, the one and only Dean, co-host of the show, Pete Glusick. Pete, how you doing?
Man, great to be here.
Good to have you.
You know,
Yeah, I was going to ask you how you healing up from. We're what are we? 3 weeks out from the fall, and everything's healing up good.
3 weeks from the fall. Oh, the
fall.
the big fall.
Yeah.
Physically, I didn't get hurt at all.
Oh.
Surprisingly.
Yeah.
But emotionally, I still wake up every day like, how did I not win that tournament? You know?
Yeah. Well,
I don't know how I'm going to shake this. I gotta do something, man. I'm losing it.
Yeah. Nah. I mean, I don't think you should be thinking like that. You had a great derb. Nobody could even catch a bass, and you caught limits every day, and almost won. You know what I'm saying? Like seriously, like I ran 100 miles to catch 8 pounds a day. You know, so. You had a great tournament
with
you
no
know?
cover on your lower unit.
Right.
No housing.
Right. How did that Yamaha keep running? I have no idea.
It's amazing.
But glad,
Did you say Yamaha?
yeah, Yamaha. I'm glad my Yamaha made it all the way back without flying off my head. Glad you're here. Glad you're feeling good.
Good to be here.
Glad you're doing good. Sitting to my left, the one and only Power Bay Paul. Paul, how you doing?
Not bad, Mike.
I
Good to
like
be
you in
here.
this chair, Paul.
Yeah, I like being in this chair.
Yeah, you've been in different places throughout the room. You've been in
I just
that
got-
chair and there, and you've been doing IMs before, but I like
Yeah.
you sitting here next to me.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I still got to work up to Dave's chair one day.
Yeah, Dave Broderick's chair.
Yeah.
Well, we put Bailey right in Dave's chair. We gave him that's the captain's chair of the show here tonight. But before we keep going, update. I know a lot of us who follow you on social media saw the giant snakehead.
Big
I mean,
snakehead.
looked like a dinosaur. I
Oh,
honestly
yeah.
was thinking
Oh,
it was
yeah.
prehistoric.
Yeah.
Tell me about that fish. What did it come
So-
on? Give me a little update on that real quick.
That previous night, I caught a few schoolie stripers on the white paddle tail like I always use
So this
for
is
them.
tidal. This is something
Yup,
tidal.
tidal
Gotcha.
area.
Okay.
Low tide.
Yeah.
Low tide. I went fishing that morning hoping to get more. Same
Yeah.
exact tide as last night. I wasn't getting any bites.
Right.
And I'm like, well, something's not right here. So I'm about to wrap it up. I make one last cast, and it's like I thought I hooked a log, and then all of
Yeah.
a sudden it just starts moving. And you know that sound when my drag is it's something's heavy on it, but it's not really peeling line. It just feels heavy, and
Yeah.
I feel those head shakes. And it's going over to the right. I thought I hooked a big catfish, and it's going over to the left.
Yeah.
And I get it. I don't even see what it was. I get it to the edge of the water, and I see this big, massive snakehead, and
Yeah.
it just shot up right out of the water, whole body. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
So fortunately, I keep my fishing vest on me.
Yeah.
I always have those jaw clamps on me all the time. I just had to walk out into that mud and grabbed them, and
Yeah.
holy crap, that was awesome.
Yeah, that's a giant. I mean, an eight
Yeah.
pound class fish is pretty
20,
big.
28 inches.
Yeah.
That's the biggest I've ever seen out of the Cohansey River.
Gotcha. Wow. How about that, Pete? Giant.
Huge.
Yeah, they're everywhere now. They're spreading.
Oh,
if it's
yeah.
tidal, it's got a snakehead in it.
Mike,
pretty much.
Mike,
yeah.
I fished that tidal area for over 10 years, and this is the first year I've ever caught snakehead. That's my second one.
Wow.
Fish tacos?
fish nuggets. I just
nuggets.
chopped it up in nuggets, poured some melted butter over it.
Yeah.
Good, good flaky white meat.
Were there any barrel sinkers in the snakehead?
It wasn't a walleye.
foreshadowing.
It wasn't a walleye. Nah, no barrel sinkers for me. What you see is what you get.
Yeah. Well, that's
8 pounds straight up.
Impressive.
713.
713.
Nah. We always exaggerate here.
Okay, round it up. 8 pounds.
Call it 8 pounds.
Round it up. Yeah.
Call it 813. I like that sound of that
Okay.
better. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
No, we always round up, don't we?
Well, I know you do.
I do. Sitting next to Paul, our in-studio guest tonight. We're so happy to have him on. And by the way, this guy happened to also win the Ike Foundation kayak event today. Unbelievable.
Wow.
Unreal.
Unbelievable. Bailey.
Oh, come on. You
No,
practiced this.
I did practice it. Eigbrett is not the right word. It's say it for me again. Eigbrett with an I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty easy.
Yeah, it's close enough.
Yeah.
Similar to Ike.
Like an I with an I sound
There
with
it
an
is.
E. Bailey, thanks for coming in. Here's the thing: people are going to think, "Oh my God, you got the winner! You got the winner to come down and drive to your house." We were actually going to have you on regular, just to have you on and talk the industry and see what's going on with your life. And then you came down the fish event and won it. That's incredible.
Yeah, it was a little bit of foreshadowing on your guys' part.
It was. It was. Now, let me tell you, Brian Carpenter, we had nothing to do with that win. There was no malice, nothing. It was. I mean, there was no. Well, we got a
lead
show
sinkers.
tonight where we have right. You did that on your own.
Yeah, it wasn't
was
fixed.
Very,
Okay.
very impressive. Very impressive.
Thank you.
Here's what made it more impressive. We're going to get into it a little bit more, but it was a tough derb. Like when you look at that body of anglers, we had 85 guys fishing spread throughout that lake. A lot of guys caught 1 to 3 fish.
Yeah, I think there's 2 limits.
Two limits out of that many people in conditions that were not great, Pete. Windy,
Rain,
cloudy,
wind,
cold.
dropping water temperatures.
Dropping water temperatures. Talking to Keith was there, Keith Thomas. Rising barometer, right? So you got like a lot of negative things going on. You put together a fabulous day, and congratulations. That was a great
Thank
win.
you. I appreciate it.
It was awesome.
Thank you.
$3,700.
Yeah, good prize, including a kayak. Kayak
Yeah.
was part of that value. So
Is that
an
right?
actual brand new compass, courtesy of Dugout Bait and Tackle. Thank you, guys.
Right on.
Was part of that prize. Finishing the intro in the room, we've got Hound on IMs for us and doing all sorts of other stuff. We've got Jake Haas, Jake from State Farm. Jake, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. We're getting compliments already on our new guest, and Bailey is filling the seat well for Dave with the tight pants.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. It's good. Well, you got to have.
Funny.
You got to be tight. You
Yeah.
got to be wrapped tight
Yeah.
to sit in that chair. So
Got his tight pants
that's
on.
right.
Upskirt cam.
That's right. And last but not least, pushing buttons, making plays, producing the show tonight, Brian Carpenter. Brian, how you doing tonight?
Fantastic.
Good. It's good to be here.
Happy to be here.
All right. So before we get into just the catch up here, let me also say that Brian Carpenter, we have another guest coming on.
Uh-huh.
Probably third segment, second segment, somewhere around there.
Yes.
We got Jason Fischer
That's
coming on,
right.
who's the tournament director to this walleye circuit that's this scandal video that's been
Yeah.
passed around. So
Yeah.
that's interesting because I think it's a hot topic right now.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's a lot of things we're going to find out tonight that it's hard to find out stuff through social media. You know what I'm saying? And like
The truth, you mean?
the truth, yeah. Because
Yeah.
I got to throw one
And
of
the
my
news is even worse.
well, the news is worse, but social media, I think for sure. I want to throw my daughter Riley under the bus right now because I know she's not watching. Maybe she is. I don't know from Baton Rouge, but she has a tendency a lot to just assume that everything that is showed or is talked about on social media is correct, is the fact. So, we don't know the whole story yet. So I'm very excited to dig into that and find out exactly what went on.
Sure.
It's an interesting topic.
Well,
you know?
if you see it on TikTok, it must be true.
Oh, Peter.
Wow.
It's fact.
You and your TikTok.
I saw you fall on TikTok. Was that true?
Unfortunately.
It was.
There it is.
Let me also remind you, if you're watching over on social media, if you're watching on Facebook, all you have to do me a favor, like and share that feed. If you like and share the feed, you're going to be entering a chance to win this gift bag. It's a world-famous gift bag loaded with sponsor products from Mystery Tackle Box, Tackle Warehouse, Founders, and more. Feel that. Paul, give me an estimate.
Is that bigger or smaller than the snake
well,
you caught?
well, let me. It's definitely bigger,
It's definitely shorter.
shorter.
Shorter,
We
I'll
call
say.
this 20 pounds. What would you call it?
You want me to be honest?
But be semi-honest. Would you call it little? Let's say a little less than 20.
Yeah, probably give or take 8 or 10.
8. All right, it's 15 pounds of sponsored products. All you have to do to enter this contest, like and share it, and then at the end, Jake's going to pull a winner here for us. So that's a cool contest we have going on. All right, first of all, Pete, I got to ask you this. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope so.
Okay, here's a serious question. It's fall. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready for it. Honestly, I love
Why do we need the
fishing
video?
in the fall.
We got to play the video
You
again?
do?
I love it, man. I love the falling water temperatures. I love the leaves changing.
Yeah.
I love how the bait fish starts ganging up.
Yeah.
And it just that you can get in these situations where fish have been spread out all summer.
Yeah.
And now you can fish one spot and catch 5, 10, 20 sometimes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's already the bay.
Yeah.
Check this out, where we struggled to get bites at all.
Yeah.
All of a sudden exploded.
For the
last
better.
week. For the better.
Huh.
Like mega days, like 50 fish days,
Yeah.
5-6 pounders being
Wow.
caught by guys.
Wow.
All those fish that were like nowhere
Yeah.
are suddenly accessible.
Wow.
So you're talking, man. I love the cool weather.
Yeah.
I love the sweatshirt weather.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of my favorite times to fish. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm ready.
Well, that's interesting.
Are you ready?
I'm not ready. I
You want the summer to hang
I
on.
like the summer still. I want to hang on to the summer, but there is a little funky transition time with the fishing that happens. But I think once it gets into what you're talking about, where those fish are biting, from that standpoint, I'm excited about fall and ready for it. But I don't know. I don't. like
We
cold.
might not be there yet. You know.
Right.
But here's something I just want to give a shout out to Jake. His picture showed up on our social feeds because he caught his very first bait casting bass.
Whoa!
I was,
Heck yeah!
he was so excited.
Where was this at?
On the park across the street.
Okay.
Just bank fishing, and so excited coming out of that Chesapeake tournament that he wanted to learn how to go get back into bait casting because I taught him and then he kind of put it down and he wanted to get back into it. So we're practicing, and a fall bait, a lipless bait.
Yeah.
He caught like a nice 2.5 pounder.
Wow,
you know?
that's awesome. Now, speaking of the bay, you said the bay, and I want to bring this up real quick because it's been. I don't know what this says about our world, but I do want to say this right now. So I was lucky enough on the last day of that Upper Chesapeake Bay tournament that we had, 3 or 4 weeks ago. Bailey, I ran a camera, and I like to run a camera, and the fishing wasn't good. I literally got 6 bites the first day, landed 4. Got 6 bites the second day, landed 5. Like, not great fishing. No real big ones, 2.5 pounders. So from a standpoint of content of fish catching, not great. But I got to capture, and this is the beauty of running a GoPro, is you capture stuff that you would normally miss in your life. And I could think of a lot in my 30 years of fishing.
Was that in competition?
This was in competition.
Oh, I thought that was
I
practice.
I had a camera running, and it was wide angle. I had it on wide, and it was able to capture this confrontation I had with a homeowner, a dock owner.
Yep.
And, Pete, I haven't posted anything that got that viral in a long time.
I saw your Instagram had like 1,100 comments.
Oh, yeah.
It was crazy.
And the thousands of comments and just, I mean.
Everybody's upset.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of them.
Yep.
Had amazing coverage. With just this outcry, I would say 98% of it was supportive. And I like reading through the comments because everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but dude, just crazy supportive and
the only people
can't
that
believe
didn't support you were they latched on to the political aspect when you made a joke about the dead guy in office.
Oh yeah, the Biden,
the dust muppet in office. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing:
that dead corpse.
Yeah.
Did anybody have an opinion that made sense about you shouldn't be fishing docks and why?
No, I mean I saw a lot that thought that the confrontation aspect of it, and for me it was very mild. Brian knows, like when you're born in this area, the Philadelphia area where me and Brian were born, you're pretty much confrontational coming out of the womb. Like you want to punch the doctor in the face for pulling out his vagina. You know what I mean? So that is in us. But I thought I was very unconfrontational. I thought I was just trying to.
You were personal. That was your personal best.
That's my personal best.
That was your PB.
There was no curses. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, guys.
It was getting.
Thank you.
That second round, you started getting. I could.
Oh yeah.
I could.
Yeah, I
getting
could
hot.
feel. I could feel the blood boiling, but I kept it at bay. But
I just a compliment. I thought you must be practicing. I'm like, there's no way.
No, that was a derb.
Yeah, there's no way he's that non-confrontational on tournament day. I thought it was practice for sure.
No, but
I thought just like you said, Brian. I thought you did. I thought you did a really great job, and I think that's why so many people responded to it. Because you were very congenial, understanding in a tournament. You moved from a potential fish catching area away.
Yeah.
And then the heat started coming on.
Yeah. So some of the negative comments were basically to the effect of, you shouldn't even have said anything, That's not the way. I wouldn't handle it like that. You shouldn't even have said anything. And I do use that technique. There are times I use that technique. In fact, in that tournament, on the first day, I had a guy just yelling from his house to stay away from his boat. And I didn't even respond to that because he was just yelling from the window. And I was just quiet and kept going and, didn't even respond to that. But, you get good ones, you get bad ones. But I'd like to go, and you got to be serious. Remember, this is Ike Live. You can't lie. I want to go around the room. Bailey, I want to start with you. How have you encountered that? And how would you handle that, or how have you handled that?
I usually just kind of gauge, let them start. If they're going to come out and say anything, let them start the vibe. And if it's nice, you stay nice. If it's, they're going to start and be kind of rude, then, if you're going to play that game, I'll play that game.
Yeah.
It's
such a weird thing that we have to deal with now. And, Paul, you're a bank fishing guru. Mm-hmm. Have you dealt with that bank fishing at all? Like where people, say, oh, this is my and it's obviously not, it's state, it's public property. Have you dealt with that?
I have once.
Okay.
So I'm like, sorry, sir, I didn't understand that this was your area. I'll move down. I'll move on. So I did. He got back in his truck and moved away, and then the next day I came back there and fished it again. He wasn't there.
So you just came back?
Yeah.
Well, that's okay too. Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, as long as I'm not leaving a mess, which I don't leave baits and junk everywhere. Pick up after yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just be respectful of the areas you're fishing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, Pete, I know
Paul, what do you do with the 4 Loko cans when you're out there? All your empties.
I leave them in my car.
Okay.
All right. Now, Pete, I want to hear from you because I know you've encountered it a lot.
Yeah.
Probably as much as I have over the years.
Yeah, I mean,
what's your?
It depends on the merit of the spot, right? If it's if I'm just practicing along, I just roll, and I don't even communicate. I try not to communicate.
Yeah.
Because anything that you say is going to generate a response.
Right.
And you're going to be engaged in this thing. So I'll just usually just move on to the next dock or the next spot or whatever it is. But my absolute favorite way to handle the situation, I learned from you.
Oh!
Jump in the water? Fall?
No,
face first?
This is the best.
4-letter word begins with F?
No, it's even better than that.
What?
It's like this was on the Delaware River, the elite tournament that you won when you were fishing this place we call the Rack. And, I always get kicked out of it. You just try to get in there and you furiously cast until you get kicked out. And but you're fishing it, and here comes the guy, and he's like, "Hey, you're not allowed to fish here," and you kept apologizing as you continued to fish.
Yes.
And you kept. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
sorry about that.
I didn't understand that. Okay, I'll get right out of here. I'm about to start getting out of here, and you just continue to apologize and say you were leaving, and 15 minutes later, you were making your last cast on the
awesome. That's a good technique.
That's my favorite technique.
Yeah.
So Mike's goodbyes are as long as his show intros. and
Yeah,
his
my show intros and
topic
goodbyes
intros.
are super long. Yeah. Well, I'm trying to weed out the viewers that don't really want to be here in the beginning. You're not going to sit through this. You shouldn't be here.
That's right.
Yeah. Brian, real quick,
Yes,
I do want to get yours because I know you would have handled it a lot different. Would you be casting at her or what?
No.
Now, come on, man. Be honest.
It depends, just like you. It depends on the moment. It could go either way.
Okay.
Depends on my mood and
so you're
and
not
her
tying on a
attitude.
super spook and throwing it at her head?
No.
Oh.
I would never do that. That's silly.
Okay.
But, you know.
Right. I don't know if I believe that.
You know who gets hostile? are my clients. They get pissed.
Do
like
they?
if I'm out with guide clients or teaching clients, you know, and people come out and start giving us the business.
Yeah.
Like I'll you know, take the high road and
but the clients are mad.
Sometimes the clients are like,
yeah,
hey, we're paid our fishing lot. You know, they they want to stir the pot. You know, and get right into it.
Yeah.
You know? But
here's the thing though. At the end of the day, if it's a public place, you do have the right to be there, right? And and I've heard a lot of the comments that came through actually said that, you know, they're like, oh, you should have, hey, nah, you should have filed a report, or you should have called the DNR yourself, or you should have, Brian, I know you like this one, you should have posted the coordinates on your, coordinates to that dock on your webpage. A lot of those came through, and I was like,
A good buddy of yours did that.
Who's that? Oh, I can't hear you, Jake.
There you go.
There we are. A good buddy of yours did that up in Connecticut, John McGraw.
He did?
Yeah,
he what?
Yeah, he tinged somebody's pontoon boat with a drop shot weight.
Yeah.
And just, hey, sorry. And this dude came running down the hill. You know, they got them 30-foot cliffs down. Dude came running down the hill, and him and my dad, who are both, you know, gargantuans.
Yeah.
And started yelling at him, said he was going to shoot him, started throwing rocks at his boat, all that. And they were like, okay. And, you know, they left. And John came back later, put a dot on it, and put it on Facebook. Yeah, this is a hot spot. Been smashing them here all week. I just came up for a couple of days, but you guys have at them.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. All right, we had a surprise guest come in. We've got Miss Becky came in with beautiful Na. How you doing tonight, Na? By the way, your real name is not Na. Your real name is Estella.
When did it become Na?
Estell. Na. It's always been
Is that
Na.
her stage name? Rap name?
Na. And Na.
Okay.
They're all Na. So actually, Beck's big Na.
Big Na.
Drew is medium Na. Riley is medium Na.
All right.
And that's little Na or Na.
Little Na.
Yeah, little Na.
That's what happens when you have so many girls.
Yeah, you have a lot of girls. You got to start coming up with nicknames. But you also have another nickname, which a lot of people don't know. But your nickname in sports, your nickname in field hockey and lacrosse is. Come on, you can say it. You want me to say it? Beast.
Whoa, that's
Beast.
an ominous name.
Yeah, she's the beast because the way she plays. So, what's up, Na? You doing good? You want to come in and chime in on the walleye, the weight scandal? Shoving the weights down the throats? Nothing? No. Okay.
Riley's watching.
Oh, Riley is watching. Oh, shout out to Riley. My daughter that I threw under the bus a little earlier is watching. Love you, Riley.
That's great.
Just being honest. Love you. You're the best.
Thought you were going to get away with one.
I
there.
did. I had no idea she was going to be watching, but I'm
So
glad she's
busted.
watching. I am so busted. She's great, though. I love Riley. All right. Now, do you want to say anything? You got anything going on that you want to?
Say something. You came here.
You want to give us an update on what's going on in field hockey or lacrosse or any of those? You're not playing lacrosse yet, right? It's just field hockey at this point. So lacrosse is coming. Well, I do. I'll give you an update then if you don't want to talk. So her birthday was last week. Well, what day was it? Last Saturday. Last Saturday was your birthday. You are how many years old now? 10. 10 years old. She hit the big
birthday.
10, right? Big day for her. And one of her presents, Brian Carpenter, you're going to love this, was she got a new rod and reel combo. And I'm just going to say it. I'm going to go ahead right now and say it. I'm an Abu Garcia guy. I love Abu. But she got a Team Daiwa rod and reel for her birthday. And it's called Lady Samurai. So she's now Lady Samurai on the water. Pink rod. And the first time you used it, which was, I think, Monday or Tuesday, you went out with it off our dock, you caught like a 2.5-pounder. So congratulations. You caught, how big was that one you caught yesterday? That got to be 3.5. That was a good one. So good job, Lady Samurai. Congratulations on that.
Is that what Daddy gave you?
Yes, I gave her the fishing rod.
What did Mommy give you?
Oh, you got a purse from Mom and a rod from Dad. Go figure. Yeah, she got her first Fendi. Okay. Nobody watching this knows what Fendi is. Okay, now you want to catch us up on anything, or are you good? Okay, so
She's not talking.
Can
we go to bed? No.
Okay, they don't want to go to bed. Okay, so but here's the thing. Let's do a catch up with our very own Dave Brodzik, who probably not watching, but here's the thing that's unbelievable, and this is very, very interesting to me. Okay, is that Dave decided to go to Disney this week. So he was like, he sees this giant hurricane coming, it's just giant and massive, the eye is as big as Lake Okeechobee rolling up the coast. And Dave's like, come on, family, let's get in the family truckster. We're going to go to Disney. Like, what a great time.
Well,
it's open?
He had to have this plan
I don't know.
before.
I probably had a plan before.
But come on, does this not surprise you? Dave going to Disney.
That is like
He's
so
like
mainstream.
King conspiracy theory. I imagine there's something totally wrong with Disney in his mind, but he went to Disney.
Yes, went to Disney.
Yeah, that is an opposite view. I thought the same thing.
Yeah,
but it is actually probably a good time to go with
no one's there.
Yeah,
right.
Probably light attendance this week.
The lines are probably short.
Yeah, I heard the Epcot ball took a hit with the hurricane.
Really?
For the first time ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. The big golf ball.
That big golf ball.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So, Dave, of course, big part of the show. We're miss you, Dave. I don't know if you're watching right now. We miss you. But we did track down Brian. I don't know if we have the ability, but here's the great thing about technology. We said earlier, I mentioned the GoPro thing, which is amazing. We've talked about active target and live scope till the cows come home. But technology in regular day life, Paul, you know this, it's everywhere. And cameras now are capturing everything. I mean, Stella, in school there's cameras, stores, malls, like you can't go anywhere and not see images of what's happening. So we were lucky enough here at Ike Live, and Brian and Jake were able to somehow get into the system down there in Disney, right? The Florida system. And they were able to procure these images.
That's a big word.
Procure. I can't even say Bailey's last name, but I said procure. We were able to procure these images directly from Disney. And I think the way we did it, Jake, correct me if I'm wrong, but Disney is still controlled by Walt himself, right? His head isn't his head. His head's severed.
Cryogenically.
Right. He controls the whole thing. But somehow we tapped in the system. You're a computer genius, so young guys can do this. I could never do this in a million years. But we were able to procure these images. And Brian, let's see some of these of Dave in Disney World. And let's see if we can get some of these up. Okay, here's Dave, and we have Dave. There he goes. Okay.
Dude. There he is he's
Is that him in front of all the stormtroopers?
Yeah, it's him in front of a stormtrooper beauty pageant or something.
Okay. So there's our very own stormtrooper. How many stormtroopers do you see there? Nah? What I call high call 50? High call 30? There's a lot. All right.
Is he leading them?
I don't know. And here's Dave in front of looks like the Magic Kingdom with a Mickey Mouse suit on. Ears suit him very well.
All right.
Okay. What else we have here? Okay.
Oh, we're
center that real quick. Perfect.
Yeah,
okay. That's great. We have a few more, I think. Hold on.
We do.
I think we might have like a Doc Owner and Fisherman situation going on back there.
Oh, we did? All right.
We're dialed.
You dialed.
We're dialed.
All right.
Smooth as.
Well, let's just look at another. Oh, wait. Here's another one coming up, guys, in the queue.
Yeah.
This looks like let me see if I can lead this one. This is Dave in a roller coaster of some sort. Which one is that?
It's a small world.
It's a small Dave.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
What's that space?
That's a rock and roller
Isn't that
coaster.
Space Mountain?
Might be. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Space Mountain.
Yeah, Space
It
Mountain.
is Space Mountain. What kind of jacket? He has a white jacket on. Looks like Don Johnson.
It looks like he's having fun.
He's having a great time.
His head looks swole.
Excellent.
Yeah, he's having the best time ever.
All right, was that it with the photos?
No, I think there's one more, two more,
we have a couple more. Okay, so a couple more images that we swiped from Disney. These are great looks at Dave.
Yeah, if you dial into your Ring camera, if you unlock it, right? They call it jailbreak your Ring camera.
Yeah,
you can get into the Disney's cameras.
Whoa, is that how it's done?
That's what Jake told me.
Okay.
Wow.
Good job, Jake. All right, let's see. We've got another one here, Dave. This looks like I would call this Dave is that Goofy?
Yeah, that one's a little bit. So he was running a race there. So you see he's got the tag on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's dressed up as his favorite furry.
Gotcha. All right. So Dave also doing a little running, Pete?
Exercise. It's good for him.
It's hard to keep exercise up when you're on vacation.
I know. He has been hitting the gym hard, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
That one makes sense. And I think we got one more here.
One last one.
I think we probably saved the best for last, I'm assuming.
Nope.
Or maybe not.
Rebecca says,
Uh-oh.
The delay. There we go.
Oh, here we go.
Hey!
And there it goes.
All right, that's it.
Oh, it's out of shit. It's okay.
That was it.
Couldn't read that, could you?
It was amazing.
It was good.
I feel like Becky just looked at me with the "you're fired" look.
Was it
fired every show.
The first
so
one was
difference.
amazing. Slowly went downhill.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. Well, we're happy for Dave, and we're glad he's enjoying you need a little vacation. A little family time.
Disney's actually a fun place to be around, you know. You can go fishing there. The bass fishing there is
amazing.
out of control.
It is.
And
it's phenomenal.
There's a lot of cool things to do there. Not a bad vacation week.
World class.
If you figure it out, you can do it well.
Yeah. At Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'd agree with that.
Because Mike used to hate it.
No, not hate.
The first time it was like, oh my gosh, all these people.
The people.
Yeah.
The people. And here's the thing. It's like, I've gotten to a business where I have, as a angler, or if you're in the fishing world, you have to learn how to relate to people and deal with big crowds and stuff. And I don't mind it in the fishing setting, but I get there and I get like I don't know, I get like all wigged out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, Paul? Like massive crowds of people and like I don't know, it's like freaks me out. You know what I mean?
I think that's why we all got into fishing in the first place.
Probably to be alone.
Why do you go out of your way to find the one guy in the room without a microphone and ask him a question?
Oh, Paul, I know. Well, we got a mic over the table.
Bailey right there.
I know. Well, I mentioned Bailey.
You see, I'm on the phone handling business. Bri, I got something for you.
Yeah.
Thanks,
My
Mike.
timing is perfect.
You do it on purpose.
My time's perfect.
Captain Chaos.
We're going to leave. Don't worry, Paul.
Okay. Beck, did you, while you're here, we're probably going to take a break here in a second. Then we're going to get, second segment, we're going to get to Bailey. But did you have any updates? Great Ike Foundation kids event on Saturday, despite the weather.
Yes.
Good event today.
And we have another one coming up.
We do another kids event
in
coming
Upper Pittsgrove.
Oh.
Very specifically for this area. There's a group coming to the Upper Pittsgrove schools, so this is to support them. But the biggest thing is the ticket window is open for the scholarship dinner.
Whoa. Big deal.
That's great that
that's
we're
a big
having
deal.
that.
Right.
Yeah, back to normality.
I love
Finally.
Yes,
yeah.
thank the Lord.
So it's not too early
Yes.
if you want to go to the banquet, which is in January?
It's
late January.
The last.
It's like the 28th.
It's the last Friday.
Yeah, the last Friday of January.
Yes.
It's not too early. Go get your tickets because there are a limited amount of tables, right? So you want to go get a ticket.
Correct.
Quick.
And
Yeah.
buy a table. Like, come with your friends. It's way more fun. Brian, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Come with your friends.
Yeah.
Have
Yep.
a whole group.
Leave
Yeah,
your
and,
wife
we're,
at
and we're
home.
gambling this year, which is fun.
We are.
We got some. What do we got? Game. We got a blackjack, craps. What do we got? Roulette. What do we got?
I think all of them.
Okay.
Okay. I had a bottle of wine. Leave me alone.
She drank a whole bottle of wine to her head. Huh.
In that case, you're doing really good.
Yeah, you are
Thank
doing
you.
good. You're not slurring whatsoever,
you.
which is great. All right. Well, thank you for that update. Brian, let's
And
take.
then he moved on. He's
Yeah.
like,
Oh, did you have more stuff?
No, except that we do have the dates for the Pro-Am.
We do.
What?
We do.
The Pro-Am?
June 10th.
June 10th. This is a big deal because this is super early. It's the earliest we've ever announced it.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
we did that on purpose because we wanted to lock in a great date. Pete, you know that the Bay, that first or second weekend of June is off the charts.
Yeah, but come on. Why would you pick June when you could go in September?
Why did
I
they?
know.
Because
Why?
we do the kayak event in September. We
He's joking.
tradition it.
He's joking.
Oh.
Yeah, he's joking because
That was
the
a
Bay
shot
sucks.
at-
Why you gotta mess with me?
That was a shot at
Because
bass.
you've had a bottle of wine.
I know. I can't. I know. I don't
Yes,
get it. I can't synapse that fast.
Yeah, that was a shot at bass. But June 10th, great time to be there, and so if you're watching, and you want to get locked in. Can you already sign up or starting at the?
They're coming any day now. We're
Any
getting
day now,
we're
okay.
getting the ticket window open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's a great time to be there. It's a great date. So very excited about
It'll
that.
be fabulous.
Yeah. Okay. Brian, I got one more thing I want to say, and then let's take a break, and then I want to get back and jump in. With
Oh, yeah.
Bailey.
We got
so much. to talk about.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Bailey, we might be 5 segments in just with Bailey. The walleye guy might have to wait.
Yeah.
forever.
Bail, what time did you How much sleep
I
have
know.
you had in the
What
last
are you
couple of
running
days?
on right now?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And where did you sleep last night?
My truck.
Oh man! So we're probably a couple hours sleep in your truck. You look pretty good for that.
A few hours.
But you're young.
Yeah, but how old are you?
24.
See,
I did that at 24. You don't need to
gotta do it while I can.
You don't have to sleep at 24.
Yeah, you have
That's right.
adrenaline and all sorts of stuff running through your veins.
But like you
Extra
could take a nap
testosterone.
right
Yes,
here. No
testosterone.
one would notice.
That's right. Yeah. Eyes open.
Yeah.
You're not like Dave. You don't need the blue chews yet. You know, it's all good.
The what?
Blue
Oh
chews.
God! Don't start, Pete.
Let's not get into this.
Don't start asking
Stop.
questions.
Stop.
You don't want to get into this? All right, we'll get into blue chews. One other thing I wanted to catch up on, Brian, before we get to this break is I watched this morning. It was great because I let me say this. Becky and I, we like to stay busy. I let you know.
I know that.
I don't like to stand still. You
No,
know
no.
that.
Mm-mm.
Bailey, I can't stand
No,
still.
no.
I can't sit.
Not
Sorry,
sure
even
why
here, I'm moving a lot.
Not sure why we have cable.
Right, but we have cable, and
Right.
I don't sit still well. But it's a rainy damn weekend. I didn't have to be up in Quakertown until 2 o'clock, whatever. Dude, I got to watch TV.
Yeah.
It was great. I made a coffee, Pete. I sat on the couch. I had the dog licking me upside the face, and I got to watch the college bracket series.
Oh, nice.
Bassmaster College Bracket Series on FS1, and I got to watch our homie Luminetti, kicking ass, dude, and advancing on. I actually thought it was the last day.
I know.
And I'm like, who's going to win? And then I'm like,
Yeah, Ronnie Moore hit me up. He's like,
yeah. I'm like, they zero it tomorrow. And he goes back.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, you're not getting the winner on tonight because they go again tomorrow.
Yeah, well, he was technically the winner of his bracket. So we could, he
That was
technically was the
impressive.
winner.
That was
He's not the winner of the
impressive.
event. But anyway.
And he did it barefooted.
He did it barefooted. I mentioned that to Beck. He did it barefoot.
Which-
Everybody else
which
is
made
bundled up.
Vegas so
wow.
happy.
Oh yeah, everybody else had full-on bodysuits, like the Under Armour, the AFCO, dude. They were zipped up bibs,
Thin blood.
Yeah, and there's Lou with bare feet, and what's this AFCO? Yeah, barefoot and just smashing them.
Yeah,
smashing them, and it was awesome to watch.
Where is this taking place?
Greenwood Lake in South Carolina. Smaller lake.
And he's doing it out of an old boat too.
Say that again.
He's doing it out of an old boat
Doing
too.
it out of that same old beat up piece of crap boat.
87 Ranger.
87 Ranger.
That thing's got character.
Yeah. Shout out to Lou because no active target, no forward facing. Not that it's a bad thing, but it's really cool seeing guys do it old school. And the other thing I want to say is that, and we're going to get into this, Bailey. I want to talk to you about it, but fishing the moment very well, like watching him basically just fish, just go fishing, right? Doc's, he was talking live like, yeah, I never fished here before. Just kind of fit the bill on what I found yesterday, and he just fishing by the seat of his pants. Man, I think that's a lost art to that. It's great to see people doing it like Bailey today and Lou this morning. That's good fishermen fish like that, and we've talked about that for years, but I could see it. I could see him doing that.
It's very difficult to fish free and open.
Very
like that
difficult
with all that pressure.
You got a camera on you. The classics on the line. A lot of pressure. He seemed laid back and calm. But the other thing I want to mention, very Vegas-esque, was Lou had two good ones, and then this is all live, and he skipped a wacky rig up under a dock and just bows up on one. Rod's doubled over, and I can see that he's like not even be able to move it. Yeah. And it gets him around a post, and it pops, and the line breaks. And when it breaks, and I've had this happen, the fish then comes up.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's that let go. And then, dude, I watched like a 4.5 come up under the dock. Oh. And, like, he slapped his rod on the water a couple times. And I was like, yeah. And then that was it. And he felt his line, got composed, started kind of laughing and joking, and I was like, and he's just on to the next dock, and I'm like, oh my God. At his age, with that pressure, dude, I would have been gone. There was no return for me. I would have been on the floor rolling around.
But that's how you get back. That's how you release it,
right,
and get back.
But
not everybody can do what you do. Most people that have the meltdown, they're jelly for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Somehow you use it to make you
but
better.
It was great to see him just be able to just and I've seen a lot of anglers do it. Vegas does it very well. Just let it go, and just
Vegas
like it never
cool.
happened, dude. Like it never happened, you know.
Yep.
And at that point, he only had 2, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, you catch another 4.5. He's got a 6 and a 3, dude. You don't need to catch another fish the rest of the day. But he went on to catch another 4 and a 3, and he made about 16.5 pounds. The nearest competitor had 9.5.
Oh.
But
so what? They zero it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so it's a.
So
who's he
now
compete
it's-
against tomorrow?
So the other winner of the other bracket,
Seth Slinker.
Mike Schenker.
What head to
Seth
head?
Slinker.
2 guys head to head.
Head to head.
Mike's alter ego.
Yeah, my alter ego. Seth Slinker.
Seth
is
Slinker.
Yeah. So
Cool name.
yeah, it's exciting because I'm excited as a fan.
Yeah.
I like it, but
Yeah.
man, it's got to lose catch the biggest bag of the event, a 6-pounder, only one that swims in that whole lake, and then you got to go and zero
Start
the
over.
weights again and start over. You know.
Yeah, that's when it hurts.
Yeah. But he's fishing. Look, he's confident. You can tell by body language.
Yep.
You know, just even just watching body positioning and the way he's casting, he looked confident. You know,
Yeah.
so
He's confident, but he's calm.
he's calm.
Calm.
Very
Yeah.
calm. Yeah.
Calm.
Very calm.
So is that going to be on FS1 tomorrow?
I
morning?
believe it is.
It was today.
Yeah, it's weird because it's a Monday. That's the other reason I thought.
I said Monday.
Yeah, I thought it was the final day today because tournaments are normally Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or normally ends on the weekend, but it'll end tomorrow. So we'll see. We'll see. But
Well,
shout out to Lou.
We're all rooting
Congrats.
for you, buddy.
Yeah, congrats
We'll
to
be
Lou.
watching.
Yeah. So, Brian, let's do this. Why don't we take a break? I cannot wait to get back and talk to Bailey. Bailey, we're going to talk about everything in your life from the moment you were born to now. So get ready. It's a lot. If you're watching, hang in there with us. We still got a lot of show left. We're going to be talking to Bailey, and then we got the walleye thing coming up. That's going to be good. If you're watching on Facebook, like and share the feed, and a chance to win that. Brian, let's take a break. Hang in there. When we come back, a little more Ike Live.
Right now where we're standing, we're in Camden, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Philadelphia is right there. This is the concrete jungle. And, a lot of those kids, as they grow up, they don't fish. It's interesting because they're surrounded by water, the Delaware River, the Schuylkill, ponds, city park lakes, but they don't have the influence to cast, to fish, to have a rod and reel. And that became our focus, is to target kids in what we call non-traditional areas, urban areas, city centers, where the population's high, and let these kids have the experience. It's amazing. I mean, some of the experiences we've had, whether it's Central Park in New York City, here in Camden, other parts of the country, even just casting.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable to see it, isn't it?
Yes.
It's unbelievable.
Yes.
And you see these kids have this experience they've never had, and they light up, The big thing, I think, for the Ike Foundation is we're not saying we want all these kids to become professional anglers.
No.
Be great if some of them did, but we want them to have that fishing experience because it ties them to so many other positive things. The outdoors, nature, conservation. Ecology, all these amazing things in life that maybe they wouldn't have been exposed to any other way. We're trying to help with that. So it's important. It's important for us.
Yeah.
We're proud of it.
Four and a half inch drop shot worm, Bama bug. Finesse jig, PB&J, give me something hard. Hey, KVD here. Now, I didn't always know this much about fishing. 4-aught EWG worm hook. In fact, there was a time when I couldn't tell the difference between a jerkbait and a stickbait. But then I signed up for Mystery Tackle Box, the original monthly tackle subscription. And now I know more about fishing than I do about calculus.
And he knows a lot about calculus.
Plus, I get amazing extras like free fishing magazines. October 2016. Featured article, 4 places to throw a frog. Exclusive decals. Zombie bass. And how-to videos for all the great baits I receive. How to tune a crankbait. Is that underwater footage I smell?
I got goosebumps.
So if you're looking to develop enhanced fishing abilities like me, or you just like getting new tackle every month, Go to mysterytacklebox.com and get your box today. Ooh, live minnows. Is it lunchtime already? Nature's candy. Oh.
At Founders Brewing, we asked ourselves, what if we brewed a beer perfect for any occasion? A beer that makes a weekday feel more like the weekend, and the weekend feel more like an adventure. What if we brewed a beer that brought us together and allowed us to be ourselves? A beer that is just as much of a companion as it is a reward at the end of the journey. What if we explored the unknown together and found a new way? What if we celebrated taste and flavor and life's simple pleasures? And what if we brewed a beer that could go where you go without slowing you down? What if? Founders All Day IPA. Low ABV and full flavor that goes where you go. Chase your what if.
All right, Brian. Torquedo today. We've got the Ike Live tiny boat out. I want to tell you, this is not just for electric-only reservoirs. It's for other things as well. Today is a great example. Where are we? What are we going to take this thing through today?
The Upper Susquehanna.
Upper Susquehanna River.
That's right.
Current, rock,
Lots of
nasty
it.
bottom,
Yep.
and we're going to use Torquedo.
Everybody else running jet drives. We've got the rock guard on the Torquedo. We're going to some small spots. We're
Yep.
gonna get in there. We're going to make it happen.
There you go.
Let's go.
Shallow water, speed, strength, power. Come on, let's
Consistency.
go.
Hey everybody, welcome back to a brand new Ike Live show. I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. I know we are. It's been a little fun catching up there, Pete. But I'm excited right now to switch gears, and we've got a great guest in studio. Can't wait to talk to him. Bailey, I was joking in the beginning. We're going to start from the beginning. We're going to start at birth, but we're going to dig in a little bit, and I'm stoked that you're here. So here's the thing: I want to throw Brian right under the bus right now.
What?
Here it goes. Dude, Brian loves you. And
stop
the
it.
reason Brian does, and I just want to tell you this, is Brian gets to hang around. No, this is a compliment. Brian gets to hang around a lot of fishing people. And Brian really sees a hustle in you. And I see it in you. I really do. And so because of that, I want to give Brian a round of applause for bringing in a good guest tonight for a change.
Thanks for
for a change.
Yes. Brian, thank you.
All right.
That's great.
Nah, about half his guest idea are good ones.
They're
happened to
all
be a
good
one.
guests.
Yeah,
Come
nah,
on.
I'm just messing around. First things first, Bailey, you're still a young guy, but how did you get it? How did you get into the whole thing? How did you get into this? Because here's the exciting thing, and I do want to mention this too before I even let Bailey talk. Yeah.
I had an idea.
Yeah, hit me. What do you got?
I say we start this out with a
okay.
salute to Bailey's accomplishment today.
Yeah, that was a hell of a win today. Yes, Bailey, this is good. And by the way,
and I really want to drink this.
we're not working with Tin Cup. We still love Tin Cup. We're not working with
yeah.
it currently, but this is a brand new whiskey that we just tried. It's not a sponsorship or nothing, but it's Sex Panther.
Sex Panther.
Sex Panther. So cheers to a great win, Bailey.
Congratulations,
Yeah.
Bale.
Cheers, guys.
Well done.
Okay.
Oh.
That's good.
The last thing I want to say real quick, and honestly, this is me looking from afar, and I really want to get in this with you, is there are so many young people, young adults that want to get into the fishing industry. And there's different ways to get into it, right? There's this big, I think, misconception that the only way to get into is, you got to be a fish head and try to fish for the elites and jump right in. But there's this whole other side of the sport of fishing. And I think you're doing an excellent job.
The bigger side, really.
The bigger side. The
Way
bigger
bigger.
side. Yeah. So let me jump back. How'd you get into the whole thing?
Yeah, so when I went to college, I got my degree in sport management, thinking I wanted to get into college athletics, and quickly learned that is not what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And the only two passions I had beyond sports was fishing. So
gotcha.
Kind of got lucked into a gig up at my hometown, working for a local rod company, and like as soon as COVID happened, literally 3 months into the gig, they let everybody go. Kind of was on my own, and with COVID, there wasn't no one was hiring. So kind of started my own little freelance social media gig, try to do something that was like from home where I could just go and fish, make content, all that jazz. And not really realizing at the time, but started somewhat creating a portfolio for myself. And having the master's in a sport business realm, I started applying to some industry jobs. And really lucked into the current job I have now at Gunpowder. It's a PR agency for pure fishing.
Great agency.
Johnson Outdoors.
We work with Gunpowder a lot. Yeah,
that's right. And they took a chance on me. I had no PR background whatsoever, but I think they saw the fishing background. They needed somebody to fill that space, and just being willing to learn some stuff about PR just kind of molded pretty well. And we've been firing on all cylinders since.
That's
for about
awesome.
A year and a half now.
That's awesome. I'm a big believer that it's like there's opportunities that come up, and it's like I don't want to call it like luck, but like things happen at the right time, and it's interesting that happened for you that way. But the other tie-in is, I don't know if she's probably not watching anymore since I called her out, but my daughter just graduated with a degree in sports marketing from LSU. So a little bit of a tie-in. So you had a sports management degree.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a tie-in there. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, if I knew that degree existed, I probably would have taken the marketing.
Yeah. But so that's really cool. So working for Gunpowder, you're getting to see a lot of the backside of the sport, which is really cool.
He's seeing the backside of the sport.
That wasn't the right word.
Maybe that's true.
What am I trying to say? I didn't mean the ass of the sport. I meant the non-tournament side.
Yes, that's right.
And that's where
behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes, right? That's where I was trying to get to. Like so many of people that watch and listen to the show are your age, right? They're 18 to 25, 26 years old. And they just think it's pro fishing. I got to fish. I got to fish. But, dude, this world is big. Pete's right. It's big or bigger than just the tournament side. So for somebody watching, they're like, oh, he works for Gunpowder. Yeah, PR company, advertising company. Okay. What do you do? Describe what you do for Gunpowder.
Yeah, it's you could kind of go on because PR, I think, outside of fishing is relatively formal, but I think PR in the fishing industry, you're kind of wearing a lot of hats.
Yeah.
At least with us at Gunpowder, it's a fun place to work because every day is pretty unique.
Yeah.
You're always doing something different, pending which client. And basically what it is really, any sort of coverage you see from a media outlet or big activations or anything from like the funny Berkeley April Fool's Day stuff you see, that all stems from us at Gunpowder, the PR agency. We're kind of just the ideation behind it, setting things in motion, getting it done for basically these brands.
Yeah.
And also my favorite part of the job is to basically create these media junkets where we get our pros, our our brand teams with media, and get to go travel to these cool places and show off, new product and teach people and get to hang out with Mr. Pete Glusick at Sturgeon Bay.
That was super cool. That's work together there.
Those events are super fun, and I want to put you on the spot, and I do want to give you a little shout out. So what you're describing, Pete's been doing this. Honestly, when I was coming up, when I was young, Pete was like my mentor because he was ahead of me. But Pete's been putting together those junkets before I even knew what the hell they were. Pete was putting them together himself. But that is important, right? Like media events and stuff like that, because that's what helps get the word out and disseminate the information. You're getting writers. Talk a little bit about that.
It's key. Well, back when I was doing it, when I'm trying to figure this out, man. I'm some kid from Jersey trying to break into pro fishing.
Yeah, because you didn't have a degree in PR or sports management. Your degree was
engineering. So I'm trying to figure all this stuff out.
Yeah.
And, we didn't have social media.
Right.
So that's how it went down is you learn to develop the relationships with the writers and put the writers together with the pros to create, to create these stories that everybody reads, that everybody read in Bassmaster Magazine and all the publications. That's how it went down.
Yeah. So real quick, let me jump in, and for all our listeners and viewers, Print media is newspapers and magazines. Remember?
We used to get a magazine in the mail every month. Oh my gosh, it just brings back.
Oh, you know what a magazine is.
I had a subscription to Bassmaster and
Okay,
Fisherman in North America.
Yeah, but how old are you, Paul?
27.
Yeah, so Paul's at all. Yeah, he remembers.
Yeah.
Now, Jake, wait, look at this.
Oh, my Lord.
Oh, look at this.
Look at that.
Oh, my gosh. Is that a young Pete Glusick on there?
Youngster.
Whoa.
Oh, my God. Look at this. This is a 1994 New Jersey Bass Federation reel-to-reel. I see some iconic New Jersey anglers on here. Might be a Schneiderite mixed in there. I see a Randy. What's Randy's last name? Randy. Randy.
I know who you're talking about.
Macaluso.
Macaluso.
Randy Macaluso.
Good get, man.
I see some classic iconic anglers. But for all our youngins watching and listening, especially if you're watching, this is print. It's actually you can touch it. It smells like paper.
Yeah.
Smell that. It smells like old. It smells like old paper. It's like musty.
Yeah.
But yeah. So back then,
that's how we used to work for the companies that we represented. Is we'd work with the outdoor writers.
Yeah.
And we'd say, hey, these are the baits that I'm using to be successful.
Yeah.
And you talk about the intricacies of how you're using it, and they would write about it, and the bait companies would get the exposure, and you would too. That's how you did work for your sponsors.
Yeah.
Back then, and but that's the only way. Like, unless you won a tournament,
right?
That's the only way that you would get exposure for your companies you were working with.
Yeah.
Social media has changed that a lot, and the media, the press media junket, and I learned this actually working with Bailey this year. Like, I thought it was a thing of the past with social media.
Yeah.
And I attended that one. We were working with Humminbird on that event.
Humminbird, yeah.
And Bailey did an amazing job coordinating the whole thing. It was awesome. And, but I see now that, oh my gosh, like it's the same but better. Right?
Just as viable as it was back then.
Even more so, because now you still get the stories, you still get that long-term exposure, but you also get the real-time social media exposure that it's happening and it's going on at the time. So you're actually able to do a lot more now with these events than we could do back then. Changed
world from when you did it, but
yeah. And it's supposed to be about Bailey. What are you doing, Pete?
Yeah, the same concept though, right?
Yeah, the same concept.
Yeah.
And the point is putting the right people together,
right,
to represent products. And,
Yeah.
Well, it was a great event.
It's a great event. It's cool. I want to, Bailey, Pete mentioned it, but how important, again, we've got a lot of people watching that are like jonesing, like, this is what I want to do, whether it's on the fishing side or this side.
Oh, yeah.
How important is that social media, digital content perspective now in the sport?
It's
paramount, right? It's like the deal.
It's ever growing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's very, I would say, minimal in this fishing industry or outdoor industry per se, very minimal, I guess, imperative print magazines or print outlets per se. Digital's growing every day.
Yeah, print's going away, digital's growing.
Because, like, I mean, you got to think about it with print. They're waiting once a month to get something in, whereas digital, on your phone, it's at your fingertips. Where it's a lot more information that you can see way more often.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things you got to. It's easy to reach, but you also have to be more strategic with it. With that being said, because now there's so much information.
It's like
out
an overload.
There. That's right. Yeah, it's very saturated. So you got to have to really kind of put an emphasis on what your plan is,
right?
Especially for brands like Pure Fishing at Berkeley, Abu,
all
those that hold high stake in the industry. You can't just do everything just to do it. You gotta do it and do it right.
Yeah. Is there one thing? Is there something that stands out, and not just for Humminbird, but for all the companies? Is there one thing that stands out that they're looking for? Like, I know diversity is probably a big one, right? Gender diversity, race diversity is probably a big one in sport. Is there something else that
old wooden ship?
Old wooden ship. Is there something that stands out that all these companies are saying, we need this right now? Is there one or two things that, Because I think that's changed, right? You got to be adaptive, as time goes on, right? But is there something that the companies are saying, this is what we need, this is what we want right now?
A ferry.
Right, a ferry.
Bass fishing needs a ferry.
We do need a ferry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul?
So,
Paul?
I mean, the opportunity might be there.
A ferry would be cool. A fishing ferry would be cool.
I mean, I got to start out with a kayak, man.
I know. Yeah, we got to get – how do we get Paul and a Hobie?
I got 2 in the truck if you want to go fishing.
Yeah. Morgan, if you're
Nighttime
watching right
fishing.
now, we got to get Paul and a Hobie here. Okay. Is there something that stands out?
Yeah, I think beyond the 2 you mentioned, I mean, that's I think across the board regardless of industry, but I think the biggest conversation in terms of hierarchy of importance for these companies is conservation.
Conservation, yeah.
Because I don't think there's several companies that are doing it really well, like AFCO for one is doing a great job at it.
Great job.
Where these bigger companies that have such high stake need to, state their voice on this conservation deal because they're the ones that have the biggest share of voice.
Right.
So the more emphasis that they can place on that, the better it's going to be for the industry.
Yeah.
And better it's going to look for them.
Yeah.
And again, that's going back to public relations. So that's kind of the deal for that. But conservation's a big one because we're seeing it in our sport, with technology growing so fast and everyone wants to do something that's big and, cool and it stands out. But at the same point in time, you got to remember, we're only here because of the fish, and if the fish ain't here, we're not here.
Yeah, that's a
excellent.
That's a line you got to walk there, because you got to think about the resources, and I think Bailey's right. There's not every company is thinking about that.
Well, there's a few that really stand out, like Yamaha.
Right Waters is a great program.
AFCO,
AFCO's got a great program.
And are after it. I think anglers have always been about the conservation of natural resources.
Yeah,
and we've been a voice for that, and you've gone and done some stuff.
I've been in Washington, D.C. It was really cool a few times. Yeah. Very cool.
Ish has done some stuff.
Yes.
And I think the anglers as a whole, and I think it's important. And it's all, to me, it's like we've done a great job as a sport. Like, we're seeing weights that we've never seen before.
That's true.
Like, we're breaking weight records.
Yeah.
We're doing some really good stuff in that arena, I think. As a whole, as an industry, I think we're doing good.
Yeah. I wish Dave was here right now when you said that, because if Pete would have said that if Dave was here, Dave would be like, it's bullshit.
I can't catch a fish.
I can't catch a fish
Anywhere around me. There's no fish left.
I can't catch a fish. And then he would have somehow converted that to global warming, and global warming's a joke. And then that would have went to the moon is not real. The moon is a mega structure. And then that would have converted to the freaking thing that splits the atoms and the freaking fallen angels.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Some of it's true.
Okay, some of it's true.
Some of it's not.
But now
the truth is in the middle.
Brian.
Just careful what you make fun of.
Brian, I agree with you 100%.
Oh, gee.
I agree with you 100%. But some of it is
my full maiden name you just addressed me with.
I don't know that I've ever heard him say your name.
But some of it goes a little too far. Like the megastructure moon thing is strange to me.
1,000%.
Okay. All right. The moon is the moon, right? The moon, Paul.
Right.
Paul, is the moon real or is the moon a megastructure?
I mean, it affects the tides, doesn't it? So
it does, but is it man-made? Is the megastructure man-made, and that affects the tide?
Who the heck's called the moon the megastructure?
Dave!
And how's this about Bailey?
Well, I don't know. How did we get on this?
The next media junket is going to be on the big crater on the moon.
That's right.
Oh, God.
Heard there's good smallmouth.
If they can build a Death Star, they can build that.
Yeah. Speaking of good smallmouth.
Dave said that?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
All right. Speaking of big smallmouth, this is actually a great segue.
Buffalo.
Smallmouth? You're living in Buffalo right now.
By the way, Mike,
great place. Yes.
Whenever you're ready to comment, the board's been fire tonight.
All right, hold on. We'll catch up with the board in 1 second. I do want to know, you live in Buffalo.
Right.
Dude, it's amazing there. So I got a good friend, Jeff Hippert, does a little P9.
Good buddy of mine.
Yeah, Jeff. We love Jeff. We've known Jeff for 20 years plus.
At least.
But what a fishery that is. What a great place to live. Like, me and Paul are sitting here struggling to catch a damn bass in South Jersey.
Grinding for 2-pound largemouth.
And you guys have
man.
It's amazing. We'll talk about that area. I mean, it's a sleeper.
Dude, I mean, you talk about Jeff. Jeff and I have had some banner days on Lake Erie, especially when you get into this season. Like, we're in October now.
Yeah.
This is primo.
Yeah.
You go out there and it's the easy time because everyone's in the woods and there's 3 boats on the whole dang lake, and the fish are, they're realizing days are getting shorter and temps are getting colder, so they're starting to put on their fall bag.
Yeah.
And the place is awesome because, really there's not much to do in Buffalo besides – in this time of year, it's bills, beer, and bass.
Right.
That's pretty much it. That's all you got to do.
That's okay.
So
What
we
about
choose.
boobs?
I like those three things.
What about boobs?
me too.
Yeah, boobs. Boobs could be in there if you're single.
You're
if
four
you're
Bs.
a single guy, you can throw those.
Well, I mean,
right,
they're all
yeah.
bees. They
Yeah.
rhyme.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's awesome. I mean, you pick your right days to go on the lake, obviously, because this when you get your high winds in
Right.
the fall.
Yeah.
You do have
Erie's
the nice. You do
notorious.
have the river though, right? Is
Oh,
that
the
windproof or is that not windproof?
You can be out there just about any day. You just don't want to be out there in an east wind, just because it's
East wind. Okay.
Against the
same thing
current.
as like St. Lawrence, where it's
Stack 'em.
hard to
Yeah.
fit. It's challenging to fish on an east wind.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I mean, this time of year is dumb.
Yeah.
My best friend Andrew Full is a new guy to Erie, and we go out on the lake with Jeff or the river this time of year. I mean, basically if you have a hook,
Yeah.
you're gonna catch
It's
a bunch of
pretty.
bass.
It's unbelievable. Like I think back to when we used to go for tournaments there, and it was pretty special. Why haven't they been back to Buffalo, Pete? A major tournament, right? When's the last time, Bailey? Do you know? A big
I'm
like
trying to
a
remember.
big national tournament. I'm not talking about like BFL or I'm talking about like national tournament. Do you know? When's the last time they've been there?
Isn't that
It's been a while.
where who's the Japanese guy from Jersey?
Coda.
Coda.
Yeah, Coda Kiriyama.
Was like he ran 70 miles and was drop shotting and for suspended fish.
Yeah,
in
like
40
60 or
feet of
70.
water.
No, I thought it was even deeper.
Yeah, it was like
I thought
70 or 80
yeah,
for the
60,
water.
Yeah, 60 or
Yeah.
70. Yeah.
I also remember fishing a tournament there where they let us go and there was like 4 to 6 footers and the wind built and we had to come in through the harbor through 12-foot waves. Legit.
Through the crack in the seawall.
The crack in the seawall. we had to figure out how to negotiate a bass boat because when the wind blows out of southwest, it's 300 miles of fetch.
down the pipe.
Yeah.
It's like they get huge,
Yeah.
and you had to try to figure that part. So maybe that scares
The
them away.
danger aspect, you think?
Maybe.
You don't think it has nothing to do with the money?
Well, yeah. Maybe Buffalo doesn't want us back.
All right.
That's a great question. I don't know.
I would love
I
to
think
go
wind's
back.
a big factor.
Wind's
It
a
would
big
be.
factor, yeah.
It would put it on the. I think the anglers in Buffalo are probably glad it's not
Right.
in Buffalo because they're like
Secret.
Let's keep this. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
keep it to ourselves.
Yeah.
Dude, the first day I ever put my boat on the water, I caught 100 bass in Buffalo.
Yeah.
I never fished there a day in my life.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
That's how, I didn't even know where to go. I just
Dude,
put the trolling motor down, and you're starting to catch 3 to 4 pounders.
It was incredible. I want to say we were there twice. Is that right for the elites? Was it twice? I fished twice there in national tournaments, and I had 2 good events. But I remember the bass event that I fished there. Paul, you're going to love this one. So Trip Weldon was the tournament director at the time for bass, and Gulp had just come out like the year before, and it was unbelievable. And we were really starting to figure out what scent really did to smallmouth and all that whole thing. It was brand new. It was cutting edge. It was in the beginning of it all, And I remember, first time we were like threading baits instead of nose hooking them. And I remember I was threading a Gulp goby, whatever their goby shape was. I was threading it instead of nose hooking it. It was all this stuff going on. It was super cool. But Gulp had a product called a chum bucket that was built for saltwater.
Yeah.
And it was basically, it was a physical bucket. And in the bucket was a mesh bag that had byproduct leftovers of the Gulp when they would pour it and shoot it. Because, they would, it's like, regular injection molding, but it was Gulp. And they'd come up with these little stubs and little pieces. Or, this one didn't come out good, so they'd discard it. And they'd put it in a bag and sell it. And I called Tripp and I said, is there any rules about chumming? And he was like, I don't know. What are you talking about? And I'm like, well, we got this Gulp bag. He's like, let me call you back. And he literally had to look line by line and call me back and said, no, as long as it's not live bait, you can use it.
Yeah.
And in that tournament, had a really good tournament. I made the cut because I remember having a camera guy on my boat the last day. Every time I would stop for my drift, so I was throwing out a drift sock on one side. This is pre-power pole, deal. I'd throw a drift sock out to one side, and I'd throw a chum bag out the other. And I chummed in that tournament. It was the only tournament I ever fished in my life where I used chumming to help. And I think it helped. It was creating a slick as I was going down this brake line. You know,
That's
it's crazy.
That's
a chump.
nuts.
Yep.
That's insane. That's
Is that
awesome.
cheating, Pete?
Apparently not.
Not lead weights, right? It's just chum.
It's not real chum.
It's not real chum. It's
like
fake
real
chum.
crawfish.
Berkeley chum.
That's another thing that people are doing. They're crawfish in their bait piles or their brush piles.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Is that chumming? Who knows?
I don't know.
Who knows? But Bailey, Buffalo is one of the greatest fisheries on the planet.
amazing.
You're lucky
right.
to be able to live there.
Yeah, very, very lucky. Let's get caught up. If you're watching, I know we've got comments. Jake, let's catch up here. We've probably got a million there. Sort through some of them. Give us some good ones. What do you got coming through?
All right, let's start with Bailey beating people on their own boat. So we heard
Beaned people or beat people?
Beating them.
Oh, okay.
Dylan Lowry said Bailey came down to Lake Eufaula and whooped me on my home lake. Buck Stronghold said Bailey whooped me in my own boat this year. He's a stick. And Anthony Geis added, Bailey's more than a stick. He looks like a log in that chair. He's corn-fed.
That's great.
That deserves a prize.
Guys rules with the comments.
That's a prize right there, I think.
Yeah. Guys, send your info to somebody.
Somebody.
Guys, send your info in. You're going to win something. We'll find here. You can win this old newspaper right here. It smells like mold.
And
it's pretty cool.
And Paul also reminds Geis of Weekend at Bernie's.
Okay.
Paul,
move, blink, please. There he is.
There we go.
Hold on, can I puppeteer Paul real quick? Hold on, ready? Hold on.
I think Paul was getting a little pissed, honestly.
No.
This Paul?
Yeah, because Becky and Estella came in and stole his airtime.
I know, they did for a little bit.
He looked fuming over there.
I would be pissed.
Furious.
Especially I'd be pissed at the 10-year-old. That little nah.
Now, if she beat me at fishing, then maybe I would be a little.
She's got some skills,
Yeah,
man.
I know Vegas could whoop me any day.
I don't know, man. Both of them got something
Vegas
going on
could.
over there. It's crazy. They were cool comments.
There was more.
There's more. Oh, what do you got, Jake? Got more coming through?
You want to say that?
Yeah.
What?
You want to say it?
Well,
You want to read it?
I don't know.
You can put the questionable ones through. We don't care.
I'm scared.
All right.
All right. Go ahead.
Fire at will.
It doesn't
All
matter.
right, we'll go nice first. Bailey should be sponsored by the Beard Club. He could use some facial hair on there. He's slicker than Astro Gel.
Who was that?
That was also Geis.
Oh, damn.
And Paul tonight is a great representation of Ike's 2022 bass events.
Thanks. Okay, so for the future tonight, I'm just going to
caught
point out.
a few bass. I caught a few. It wasn't a
Okay,
total
so
disaster.
I get it. I'm sitting here and I'm not saying enough. Not trying to interrupt you because
Right.
you don't let me get
I
a word
think-
edge in wise.
I know.
Paul,
I
I
know,
think
did
Mike
talk
should be
about
madder than you right now.
I know. I'm not mad at all.
I get it. Okay, I'm going to talk more. Okay.
Yeah.
And here's the thing.
You're good, bud.
I actually caught fish. I just didn't catch a lot of the right
Yeah, they
fish
were
this
like
year.
that though.
Right.
So, at least they were fish.
They were MLF fish.
Yeah.
I would have did great in that circuit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's okay.
The circuit that just got canceled.
The whole circuit got canceled. Yeah.
What?
Man.
Well, they made it the invitational for like the next year.
What do you mean?
The pro circuit.
Yeah.
They merged
now
the
it-
Bass Pro Tour and the
Toyotas?
The they took the pro circuit, made it the invitationals, took a lot of money out of it, and made a lot of cuts. Now it's 150 guys, and you're only fishing to make the pro tour, and that's it. So it's a qualifying series, but there's guys that are coming out of Toyotas that can have a better chance making more money, and they basically just took it to invitationals and put it over there.
Yeah.
A lot of big changes over there.
Oh yeah.
There are some
I
changes
can't say
over
I
there,
know. You know.
Yeah, I don't
It's
know.
Complicated.
Bailey?
That's a whole other show, maybe. Bailey, get in.
You got to know about all this.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I get both sides. I get where they're coming from, but I think they lost a big opportunity changing the pro circuit with the Bass the elite qualifiers.
Yeah.
I think there was going to be a lot of people that were going to run over to try to make pro circuit.
Right.
But now that they changed that, I think they lost out on that.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. It's tough, man. I mean, it's tough with a lot of circuits, right? Because everybody's vying for the same pie. You know, you've got Bass, you've got MLF, you've got the
NJ89,
this
NKOTB,
POBI,
NPFL.
lot of circuits vying for the same money. So a
lot
it's
of
tough.
Yeah, there's a lot of controversy. Like bass, to be fair, we're talking like the moving to 9 tournaments to qualify for the elites.
Yeah, mixed emotions. A lot of people have mixed emotions. I
I
still
don't have
do
mixed
myself.
emotions about it. I don't like it.
You hate it.
No, I think it's.
You hate it because
it hurt. I think it takes a lot of the college graduates out of the picture. It takes a lot of the people that are. It's a heavy financial burden.
Right.
And
to have to fish all 9 versus
weeks
3.
off from work, 9 weeks of entry fees, 9 weeks of expenses on the road.
Right.
It's a massive sponsorship thing that you have to get in place to be able to even consider that, or have the revenue in your family, I guess, to be able to take on something
trust
like
fund.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're taking a lot of people that have a dream.
Right.
And I don't like that dream is not available to them, for this next year. So
I can see that.
I see Bass's point, right? They want to build or qualify a well-rounded person for the elites. That point is a good point. It's a good point, but being killing the dreams, man, I don't like it.
Yeah, I can tell you this. I've fished the Opens every year for about, I want to say, it has to be close to 25 years. 25 years straight, I've fished the Opens almost every year. Oh, yeah.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah. And that's how tough it is. Like, fishing the Opens for that long, I've won 2. You've won how many?
2.
It's tough, right? It's not easy. But I've always fished them all because they were the Northern Opens. And I think there was one year where they changed it and it wasn't the Northern Opens and they weren't up here and I didn't fish them. And this year, they're not the Northern Opens. It's Division 3.
Yeah.
That's
Which
that's confusing.
It's so boring.
Well, it's boring. The name's boring.
The boring as hell. Hopefully, it's just like for the time being until they like get creative but 1, 2, 3.
Well, the name's boring.
It's horrible.
That's a whole nother topic. The name is boring, but
might just be temporary.
But I hate that they've dismissed this part of our part of the world, the northern part of the world. I hate that. I really hate that.
I got to say though, I'm looking at fishing the Opens because I want to, I love the opportunity to make the Classic, and it's just it's an awesome opportunity, and just sniffed it at the Chesapeake, and I was like, I can't believe I didn't get that, but I love that part of it, so I'm going to continue to participate. And I'm starting to warm up to it because like the Watts Bar one is way out of the region for me.
Junk.
But I love Tennessee.
Junk.
And I'm like, we have Kerr Reservoir in the spring, which is just amazing. I can't wait to do that.
Kerr's kind of cool.
I've never been there in the spring,
Yeah.
and I've been there for a decade or more. We're going to Thousand Islands, which is cool. It's always going to be awesome. And Watts Bar is a sleeper. I remember when we filmed with Wesley Strader down at Chickamauga for Bass U, he was like talking about Watts Bar as nobody's fishing Watts Bar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's
because Chickamauga's getting all the pressure.
Chickamauga's getting all the pressure. Watts Bar is on fire.
Yeah.
So I'm as I think about this, I'm starting to get pumped about. All right. Well, for a divisional guy like me that's still going to fish 3, I'll travel for 1.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
All
right. Now this is a great segue, Brian. I want to change topics. Brian told me not to even bring this up.
I did.
He's mad at me for even saying this, but
Okay.
I'm going to just say it. Clearly, through the
I see your notes.
the IMs that came through, but I also want to. I will read some of these notes here real quick. 7 wins this year. 5 club wins, 4 on a kayak, 1 on a boat. Big win at the Hobie BOS down in Eufaula. And then, of course, the win today.
7 wins this year.
Yeah. I would say this.
Unreal.
And Brian told me not to say this, but I want to say it. Bailey, you're very successful doing what you're doing now on the business side. Why the fuck aren't you tournament fishing?
Don't fall for it.
No,
Don't listen to this.
No, I gotta ask because Like seriously, like I'm a great judge. Pete will back me up on this. I'm a great judge of looking at somebody, literally just watching you from afar and looking at your performances and saying, that guy can fish professionally. He should be. He could be at the top of the – honestly, you could be right there. Why aren't you fishing professionally?
So this is one I've been going back and forth about, but I really gained a solid stance on this. Was I love to compete. I've always been competitive. I've always been an athlete my entire life, and I have that drive that's never going to leave.
Yeah.
And also working this business side, having friends that fish at the professional level, having spent a lot of time with them, traveling with them for pre-practice, seeing what the daily grind is.
Yeah.
It's one where it's like I see the grind that you guys do, and I have an amassed respect for that.
Yeah.
But at the same point in time, I don't think I want to do that. Like, I want to be able to go down the endeavor, put the time into what I want to do, fish where I want to fish.
Yeah.
And I have to do that, whereas, like, with Hobie BOS, I can go pick 5 tournaments out of their full schedule, choose which ones I want to fish.
Yeah.
Go, fulfill my competitive drive.
Yeah.
Have a chance at making a championship-style event.
Yeah.
Which is big money.
Yeah.
To fulfill that, again, that competitive standpoint, but also not have to be traveling all time of year and
being more in control of your own destiny.
That's right.
Yep. And have that job that's steady, that's secure, right? Paycheck. Not freaking putting 40, 50, 60 grand on your credit card.
That's right.
Right? That's security.
Yeah. It's one where I think I found a happy balance between making sure I have a good home life, fulfilling my personal passion, but also making sure the bank account stays fresh.
Wow. Hats off to you. I don't actually take my hat off. I don't think I've ever done that in the show before.
That's what I told you about right there.
I know. That's
it's wise beyond his years.
Pete, that's very refreshing to hear that, because I think a lot of I think there's a lot of people that have Bailey's talent. I think there are a lot of young people that have that talent, but I think a lot of people are disillusioned that happiness has to be tied to to top tier tournament fishing. And what I heard right there is the opposite. When I like that, I applaud that. I think that's great. Because I honestly, at this stage of my life, I don't know that I felt like that when I was 24. But at this stage of my life, I can relate to exactly what you're saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can relate to exactly what you're saying. I honestly was very, very happy when COVID was around. Not because of COVID, but I was getting to fish, the year that I fished the Opens, the Northern Opens, and a few kayak tournaments.
Yeah.
And I was competitively happy. My competitive thirst was quenched.
Right.
But I was more in control of my own destiny, and I was still doing stuff with, filming digital content and this and that to stay relevant and make a living and not having to fish the grind. And that's refreshing that you said that. And I hope that I hope that people are listening and watching and get that and understand that.
I want to say, like, when I started, my goal was not that illustrious.
Was plumbing? Active plumbing in the house?
Plumbing?
That was the goal back then.
I had that back then, and I gave it up.
Oh, okay.
Because I was like, I want to. I'm in this cubicle. I'm working my butt off trying to, do these projects and on a topic that I'm somewhat interested in. But I'm totally passionate about fishing. That's what I spent all my money on. That's what I did on the weekends. And I felt like if I can make a living doing what I love, then I'm gifted. I'm very fortunate, and that's what I went about, because you could do what you're doing in a lot of different industries, you know, but to be able to do it in something you love
in the fishing industry,
the fishing industry is a big deal.
Yeah, and that's you make a good point. So like in this industry, for folks my age or younger, high schoolers, college kids that are growing up and they want to surround themselves with fishing, it seems like today all you think about is fishing professionally. And I think that's the biggest gap and weakness in the fishing industry, is not knowing the source or how to get a job in the fishing industry, not just from a tournament fishing standpoint, but getting involved with these brands, whether it's what I'm doing at a PR agency or working for Pure Fishing or a separate company, the information's not really there. Or how to get involved. It's a lot of just who you know.
Right.
And that's, I think, is a big gap.
Yeah.
We don't really have the foundation for people to be prepared or
like Berkeley.
find a way into that.
Yeah. I mean, for crying out loud, Paul's name is Powerbait Paul.
Berkeley.
Where the hell's the sponsorship at?
Berkeley,
for Paul?
Berkeley's missing out.
They don't even follow me back
They
on
don't
Instagram.
even follow you back on
They
Instagram.
follow
I
you
mean, what is
back?
this world
I know,
coming to?
right?
Good night.
What is this world coming to?
Paul, the guy on your left. That's the guy. That's the guy you want to know.
Yeah, Paul. We'll make sure you talk to Bailey before the show's over. We'll be able to help with that.
Hey, listen.
I can't do anything. I'm just a peon. You know.
Wawa Hoagie Lady suggested that Paul wear a sombrero.
Sombrero.
With on the next show with chips around the rim.
Heck yeah.
And then the dip in the middle.
Oh yeah, that could be a Halloween idea for Paul. Paul,
I got a similar hat to that. I don't know about the whole sombrero part, but I got a similar summer hat I wear. Similar shape.
You're bringing chips next week.
Okay.
Bring chips.
I'll bring the chips.
I do have
just
two.
wear the hat.
Yeah. What do you got, Jake?
I got one.
Oh, yeah.
Bailey, what's your lunch when you're in the kayak? Is it straight spinach or spinach with bread? Mike likes Becky sandwiches. I don't know how you feel about
special.
it.
They're special though.
Yeah, like what do you got? Spinach sandwiches?
Was that Paul that commented that?
This was Anthony Geis asking.
Oh, Anthony.
Yeah, he's still asking.
He's winning a lot of shit tonight, man.
Geis wins the board.
Geis wins everything.
Geis and Hoagie Lady.
Jeez Louise.
Spinach.
Those two are taking it away. Paul, did you? I mean,
We never got an
you're
answer.
the iconic. I know. I just skipped over that. To me, you're the iconic true fisherman, right? You're like there's the pros, there's the guy that fishes once a year, and then there's you. You're in the trenches. You're the guy that's actually doing it every day. You're fishing out of your car. I mean, you're the true fisherman. Did you ever consider at all, up to this point, like fishing professionally? Did that ever run through your mind whatsoever?
Mike, I'm going to be honest with you. Tournament professional fishing, of course, I would love to do it. Financially, I know no way in heck I would be able to do it.
Right.
But there is definitely a desire for me to get somehow involved in the fishing industry as a career.
That's cool.
You know what I mean? I work as a QA department in a food production factory.
Yep.
It's a steady pay, but I really want to get into the fishing department. I just don't know how to go about it.
Gotcha.
But it seems like the right guy to talk to.
So you aspire to get into sort of what
Somehow.
Bally's side rather than the tournament side.
Yeah, because until I have a good financial foothold, then maybe I can use that to step into the fishing tournaments department. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'll never have a good financial foothold in the fishing industry.
Right. Well, on that note,
stay out of it. Where the money's at.
Right. But here was the other one. I want to throw Brian under the bus on this one, and this is a good. Man, I love that screen right now, Brian. That's a good one. I know. There it goes. It's back.
Sure else.
Is it being glitchy?
I don't know. The camera keeps cutting out. Carry on.
I don't know. So I want to throw you under the bus on this one.
Oh, me?
Which is real quick,
okay.
and then we're going to keep going. Which is, and I'll be honest. So Bailey, I don't know if you knew this, but I joined a fishing club. We had a fishing club here locally, or right up the road when we were young, and there were 2 or 3 guys in that club, Brian included. Brian's one of them, that had like what I see in you and what I see in a lot of these guys. I look at him like, holy shit, this freaking dude's good. He can make it professionally. Brian, you had that. No, honestly, I'm not just saying that. You had that. You have that ability.
No, maybe.
But back then, what kept you from fishing professionally? Because you did have it.
Oh, well,
you did have it.
The inability to sell like you sell, because that's a big part of it.
Okay.
I finished second every year in everything. And that was only going to continue to the next level. So I wasn't winning. I was finishing second, which was my first sign.
Second's not bad, though.
Yeah, but it wasn't. It wasn't closing the door.
At least
didn't matter.
you're consistent. Consistency is key.
Consistently second. Angler of the Year, our club classic, every year.
Yeah.
That was kind of the writing on the wall.
Right.
Yeah.
But so
I can't beat you.
Yeah.
When we go to,
hey, Mike.
Yeah.
That explains it. Why I fished my first tournament with this Joker, and what place did we get?
Joker?
Second place.
Of course you did.
Second place.
Joker.
Yeah, Joker over
Right.
here. Second place.
And this is what I'm saying. No respect. That's, that's the third thing. No respect.
The third thing was no respect. That
Take
was
the kid out.
yeah.
Put him on a nice day. I get called names.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I was going to.
But we lost the guys that pre-fished. So
I was going to change topics because we haven't really talked about Bailey winning this freaking tournament.
I know. Well, that's a great. It is a great segue point.
I mean, he blew my hair back when he told me how many fish he caught in this event.
Okay. Yeah.
That
I do
you
need
should never be able to catch that many fish on that lake.
And we do need to know about that because I know there's a handful of our live viewers tonight are competitors that fish today. They're guys that fished and they're scratching their head because they fish there every week and they had one bite or two bites or caught one and, it was a struggle today. It was not easy. Bri, you know.
Oh, I know.
So, Bailey, I do want to know, and you had limited practice. Talk a little bit about the tournament today because, first of all, most guys had one or two bites today. How many bites did you have? And this isn't rubbing it in. This is just reality. How many bites did you have?
30.
30 bites.
Unreal.
How many fish did you land out of 30 bites?
Probably around 25.
Okay, so 25 fish. All keepers or?
Yeah.
Okay, so 25 keepers today on the day when a vast majority of the field had struggled. How many did you practice for weeks or months or days, or what was your practice period for this tournament?
Yesterday I practiced for 3.5 hours.
3.5 hours?
Yeah.
So on a body of water you've never been before.
Yeah.
So explain that to you. Got to explain that to everyone.
That's impossible.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm thinking about it. I'm like, but I think I know where this is going. But talk about that.
Yeah. So I didn't do any research, and I was joking with Brian about it. Apparently, there's maps for Pennsylvania for lakes that show you like where the rock piles are that they've dropped and everything. I never knew that existed.
Yeah, me neither. I got to check that out.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, I guess the state's giving up all the juice. So I went out with the mindset of I didn't do any research, but I just pulled up Lake Master and started kind of looking. I'm like, it's fall, it's October, temps should be dropping. I'll figure out when I get on the water, but I'm gonna start on main lake points because fall time, fish start grouping up, getting together. That's at least a starting point. And started graphing and noticed how there's gizzards in the lake, but there's also alewives, and how there was I found giant groups of gizzard shad and alewives offshore with bass under them. Couldn't get them to sniff anything, so I graphed for probably 2.5 hours, finding fish, but just was like it was very extremely non-responsive.
Yeah.
And so I probably put in 4 or 5 miles doing that and got off the water. And Brian's buddy Keith, who knows the lake very well, I ran into him. We kind of just started chit-chatting, didn't really put things together that we somewhat knew each other. And he was like, yeah, he goes, if you see gizzards out that deep, he goes, I mean, forget it. You're not going to get them. And I was like, okay, that makes sense why, maybe I don't just suck. And at that point, I was like, there's only a couple hours of fish practice time. I'm just going to go try something different. I was like, looking at the Google Maps. I'm like, this creek's got a bunch of pads. Let's just go see if they're shallow. So I just put in the kayak, threw 2 rods in there, a frog rod and a flipping rod, went back to the pads, and it didn't click at the time until I thought about it today. But the window that I went back, it was raining all day until this window where the sun came out, and I started just flipping the pads and got 2 bites pretty quick. At that point, it was like 3:30. Okay, I'm like, whatever. I'm going to go back and get rigged up ready for tomorrow. I just left after that, turned back around, went back to the truck, got ready for the day. And I was like, oh, I'm just going to go wing it tomorrow. Like, I mean, what's there to lose? I'm just going to go fish.
So you went from no bites out deep to 2 bites shallow pretty quick. And you just said,
going shallow.
This is the deal.
Yeah, and so I mentioned that the small window of sun with flipping was because today there's zero sun. It was raining, overcast all day long. And I just kind of was like, pads, you got to have a frog tied on, at least for a little bit. I hate fishing pads, by the way. I can't stand it because you just get like roped under something, especially in the wind because your wind
getting the crotch of the pad, and the stems.
It drives me crazy. Yeah, it drives me nuts. And so today I launch, and there's probably 10 people back in here, and just because of the charity tournament, I was just kind of like, this is fun. This is free spirit. I'm just gonna have fun with these guys, and I learned that there's this Pennsylvania map with rock piles. When I start on what I thought I graphed and worked hard to find was this rock pile. And this guy goes, you care if I share this rock pile? I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. And he's like, yeah, I saw this on the Pennsylvania map. I was like, say what now? I felt like an idiot because I didn't even do my research. quickly that disappeared, and first cast in the pad was the frog. It's like, oh, that's cool. Like, didn't think much of it, and then go back 15 minutes later, catch another one on the frog, and it was a struggle until about probably 9:30, 10 o'clock. Caught my third keeper, and I looked behind me. Everyone from this creek was gone. I was the only one left. Everyone deserted. And about 11:30, I was going down the edge of the pads. Wasn't getting any bites anymore, so I decided I'm just going to push far back into like one of the most obvious pad flats, where it was just you could get farther back in. And for whatever reason, I left my 2D on still, and I noticed that it got deeper when I got 20 yards past. So I stopped.
What kind of depth are you talking about?
So the edge of the pads is about 3-4 foot. I pushed about 20 yards into the pads, and it went down. It actually went up to about 4.5. So it went a little bit deeper. And so I stopped and started fan casting, and this was about 10:30, and it was just almost every other cast. You were either seeing them wake around it, you were catching them.
So you found a little depression, or a ditch, or a depression, a deeper spot. Yeah.
And I didn't put it together time because I'm just free floating, being a ditz, and just didn't seem like, oh, there's a lot more popping, like more bluegill popping around this area than the rest of this creek, and literally stayed in about a 100 yard stretch for the rest of the day and just smoked them.
Wow. Banged up, grouped up.
Man, that's pretty
crazy.
awesome.
All on the frog.
Every single one.
What like buzz toad or hollow belly or what do you?
It was a Spro bronzi and killer gill.
The poppin' frog or
no? Just your regular
in pads.
Just regular.
Come on, Pete. It's not a Bass University question. Who sort of popping frog in them pads?
I know pop frog.
In those pads?
Well, no, I don't know about those pads.
Where he's in those pads. What are we talking about here? Come on, people. Let's look alive.
You're probably thinking like, damn, Mike sent us to a really cool place, man. This place is awesome.
This place is loaded. Everybody else is pissed off. Everybody else wants to go back to Pac-Com.
Dude,
I was like, this is nuts. Like, I was having so much fun, and wasn't really even keeping track of time. And next thing I know, it's 1 o'clock, and I'm like, dang, there's still nobody back here. And I finally get somebody that starts coming back through, and he's like, hey, you're having a good day.
Oh, you can see what everybody's doing?
Yeah, so on
the app,
there's an app called Turn the X where they shut standings off at a certain point, but like you can see how people are doing. And he's like, oh, hey, you're having a good day. And I was like, yeah, it's pretty fun. Like, I doubted it'll win. Like, there's giants I heard apparently in this lake, and just kind of going along. He goes, well, I don't have a fish. And I was like, dude, come over here. Like, they're freaking chewing. And I'm like, do you have a frog tied on? And he goes, no. And I'm like, well, do you have a frog rod? I'll give you a frog. He goes, no. I'm like, well, do you want to take my rod? Like, dude, like 20 minutes, you'll catch a bass. And the guy he turns around. He goes, no, it's all good. He goes, good luck. And I'm like,
wow.
Yeah.
I would have took the frog and the rod.
Yeah.
I would have took both.
I was trying to just help the guy out. I mean, I had 93 inches. I'm like, I'm satisfied with my day. I'm just going to keep going on.
What was second?
82 or
83. 83.
Yeah.
83.
Oh, wow.
It was like 10-inch difference.
Yeah.
Is that unusual in a kayak tournament to be that far ahead?
Yeah.
But the other biggest difference, and I interviewed those guys, is even the guys that came in second, third, fourth, fifth, they literally had like 4-5 bites today total.
Wow.
That's typical.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a big difference.
I've been fishing Knock since you went up there for the first time last spring.
Yeah.
I went right behind you. I've been there a number of times since. I never had a 30 bass day there.
You probably caught 30 total.
I haven't.
I think I've got 30 total.
Good night.
Yeah, I mean, I asked Keith and Mike afterwards. I was like, asking about buying a house down there. I was like, this place is awesome.
So what was your biggest fish of the day?
So I had 3 that were, in kayak terms, they're 18 3/4 inches. Because it's by length.
Yeah, by length.
But each the 3 of them, one was probably 3.5, one was 4, and one was probably 4.5. So they were they were all super, super healthy fish. I was actually really impressed with the health of the fish in that lake.
Yeah.
But the one I caught that was about 4.5 had to just he already had his fall blimp belly. He
got
was
it out.
Nice.
Full of gills. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Well, you said you lost a couple. Did they get wadded up in the pads or what happened?
So the first probably 2 that I lost was just basically getting overexcited because it was kind of slow at first, and I just set the hook way too early.
Yeah.
But 2 I lost, were like just setting the hook and just can't wrench them out.
Anything that would have helped you?
I couldn't really see them, so I can't say. I'm not really one to be like, oh, totally, it was a giant 5,
Yeah.
But, I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I can tell you this, though. I know I mentioned it earlier in the show, but there is something to that just going fishing, right? You know, like
free.
Like Bailey, when we talked at the tournament, you know, I saw it right then from when you were talking. You were like, man, I just got those 2 bites of practice and I just went out, you know, and just fishing the moment and just having fun and fishing free. Dude, that's key, Pete. And that's you know, you did that excellent today. And I think you have to do that.
In order to win, I think you got to fish free.
Yeah.
And you did that just naturally from and it begs the question, do we over practice?
Do you over practice or do you over analyze an area that you find in practice, right? Like, you know, you catching those 2 and just getting the hell out of there.
Yeah.
That might have been key to the win.
It's so weird because like down on the Chesapeake, I remember talking to you before the tournament started, and I said my main thing is I'm trying to forget.
Yeah.
I'm trying to forget everything.
Right.
Yeah.
So that I can fish free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so hard. It's easy to say, incredibly hard to do.
Yeah, I think that's one cool thing going back to the full-time gig is being able to spend time with guys that fish at the highest level.
Yeah.
Being able to spend time behind the scenes, whether it's media junkets or being able to call them up on the phone and getting that one-on-one time, being able to, selfishly pick their brain from a fishing standpoint.
Yeah.
And I think the best piece of advice mentally I got was after Seth Feider won his AOI, I was on the phone with him because I had to write his piece for that. And what he said is, he goes, in practice, I never want to figure it out. I want a couple clues, and that's it.
Right.
Because that can steer me in the direction of what's happening for the tournament, and that's kind of stuck with me today.
Yeah.
Was figure out a couple things, whether it's area or what they might be starting to relate to, and then look at your conditions coming up the next couple of days and kind of make a guesstimate.
Yeah.
And just fish.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's
awesome.
Great advice,
dude. That's a great tip. If this was a Bass University, we would mark that
mark
right there. Mark it. We would tell Jake to mark it. To be able for people to go back. It's so cool, man. Again, congrats, Bill. That was a great win. Really, honestly, super impressive to come up here and figure that out like that. It was pretty awesome. But Brian, I know we've got a amazing guest lined up.
Yes, we're going to get back to more Bailey.
Yeah,
but we got to transpose to our next guest.
Okay, so what you want to do this? You want to take a break and then we'll come back. Okay, so let's do this. If you're watching right now, thank you for watching the brand new IKE Live tonight. Hang in there. When we come back, Pete, this is some meat of the show tonight. We've got Jason Fischer joining us, the tournament director for this walleye cheating scandal thing that went down. We're going to find out the real scoop. It's going to be exciting. I want to know myself.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes, I'm very excited. So hang in there with us. Yeah. When we come back, more IKE Live.
Right now where we're standing, we're in Camden, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Philadelphia is right there. This is the concrete jungle. And, a lot of those kids, as they grow up, they don't fish. It's interesting because they're surrounded by water. The Delaware River, the Schuylkill, ponds, city park lakes. But they don't have the influence to cast, to fish, to have a rod and reel. And that became our focus, is to target kids in what we call non-traditional areas, urban areas, city centers, where the population's high, and let these kids have an experience. It's amazing. I mean, some of the experiences we've had, whether it's Central Park in New York City, here in Camden, other parts of the country, even just casting.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable to see it, isn't it?
Yes.
It's unbelievable.
Yes.
And you see these kids have this experience they've never had, and they light up, The big thing, I think, for the IKE Foundation is we're not saying we want all these kids to become professional anglers.
No.
It'd be great if some of them did, but we want them to have that fishing experience because it ties them to so many other positive things. The outdoors, nature, conservation. Ecology, all these amazing things in life that maybe they wouldn't have been exposed to any other way, we're trying to help with that. So it's important. It's important for us. Yeah. We're proud of it.
Four-and-a-half-inch drop shot worm, Bama bug. Finesse jig, PB&J, give me something hard. Hey, KVD here. Now, I didn't always know this much about fishing. 4-aught EWG worm hook. In fact, there was a time when I couldn't tell the difference between a jerkbait and a stickbait. But then I signed up for Mystery Tackle Box, the original monthly tackle subscription. And now I know more about fishing than I do about calculus.
And he knows a lot about calculus.
Plus, I get amazing extras like free fishing magazines. October 2016. Featured article, 4 places to throw a frog. Exclusive decals. Zombie bass. And how-to videos for all the great baits I receive. How to tune a crankbait. Is that underwater footage I smell?
I got goosebumps.
So if you're looking to develop enhanced fishing abilities like me, or you just like getting new tackle every month, go to mysterytacklebox.com and get your box today. Ooh, live minnows. Is it lunchtime already? Nature's candy. Oh.
At Founders Brewing, we asked ourselves, what if we brewed a beer perfect for any occasion? A beer that makes a weekday feel more like the weekend, and the weekend feel more like an adventure. What if we brewed a beer that brought us together and allowed us to be ourselves? A beer that is just as much of a companion as it is a reward at the end of the journey. What if we explored the unknown together and found a new way? What if we celebrated taste and flavor and life's simple pleasures? And what if we brewed a beer that could go where you go without slowing you down? What if? Founders All Day IPA. Low ABV and full flavor that goes where you go. Chase your what if.
All right, Brian. Torpedo today. We've got the Ike Live Tiny Boat out. I want to tell you, this is not just for electric-only reservoirs. It's for other things as well. Today is a great example. Where are we? What are we going to take this thing through today?
The Upper Susquehanna.
Upper Susquehanna River.
That's right.
Current, rock,
Lots
nasty bottom,
Yep.
and we're going to use Torpedo.
Everybody else running jet drives. We've got the rock guard on the Torpedo. We're going to some small spots. We're
Yep.
gonna get in there. We're going to make it happen.
There you go.
Let's go.
Shallow water, speed, strength, power. Come on, let's go.
Consistency.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Ike Live. Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. I know we are. Got a great show going on tonight. Man, it's really been fun. It's nice having a full house tonight. Of course, Pete and Paul sitting to my right and
Mary.
left. And we've got Bailey, fresh off a nice win tonight.
Peter, Paul, and Bailey?
Peter, Paul, and Bailey. Yes.
That gets a prize.
Yes, it does get
Jake
a prize.
and Bailey have no idea what that joke is.
Not a clue.
No.
And neither is PBP.
But it's been a great show. Let me remind you, if you're watching, we want you to like and share the Facebook feed. If you're watching over there, if you do that, you're going to be entered in a chance to win the world-famous Ike Live gift bag. Also, if you've got a comment or a question or anything about what you're hearing or seeing tonight, please send it in. Jake will put it through. At least the good ones he'll put through. Brian, this has been a good show, but I am very, very excited. But before we even get to that, Paul, did you – I saw you looking at your phone.
Yeah.
Normally everybody's taking a piss break, but you were looking at your phone. You got something you want to say real quick?
And,
what happened over there? Something happened?
Yeah, I think there's this little bait company. I use a lot of their products, like Berkeley Power Worms. Yeah, Berkeley.
Well, your name is Power Bait Paul.
It is.
Of course.
Yeah. I've earned that.
Yeah.
And Berkeley started following me.
Berkeley found you! Oh, gosh.
Finally!
Look at that. The power of Ike Live.
The power of Ike Live compels you.
The power of Ike Live compels you. Hold on. Let me open the Four
Appreciate
Giants.
it.
Spray that all over the place. Also, Brian, was nice that we were drinking the all day chill day up to now, but we made a little switch.
Yeah.
And this is a really good one, too. This is the Four Giants Haze. Brian, this is a good one. You want to talk about this one? This is pretty phenomenal.
I like it.
You like it a lot. Okay. Another Founders beer. Once again, yeah.
You like it?
Yeah. Here's the thing. I feel like a lot of people watch this from different parts of the country, different parts of the world. They watch these shows after the live, and they're like, God, these guys love Founders. But you can find them through the app, right, Brian?
That's right.
Founders app. You put in your zip code. You can find out where they sell them. That's correct.
That's correct.
Okay. So if you're watching, go to Founders.com, put the Founders app in your phone. You can find out where to get them.
That's correct.
Four Giants is good.
That is also
All
correct.
right. So, dude, this is the meat. I'm very excited about this next guest because this has really, we mentioned earlier, but it's taken the last few days by storm. It's felt like overwhelming. I can't get away from it. And I think the reason is because people are outraged. People are outraged by the fact that something they love to do, which is tournament fish. I don't care if it's, think about that term, tournament fish. Bass, walleye, crappie, even saltwater guys. I mean, I've watched the thing blow up. Guys are outraged that the fact that something they love to do, something they're passionate about, somebody would have that malice.
It
right?
was satisfying to see them getting busted.
And it was satisfying.
And that's what I think everybody got a sense of satisfaction. Plus, there's video. Let's just be real. Like, when there's video, that just...
Right, Bailey, in today's age, right?
Video
proof is everything.
If you have proof.
Because think about this, like all the other, like, egregious, like busts, like where people got caught.
Yeah.
It was like rumor.
Yeah.
Rumors,
conjecture,
right, the rumor
like
mill.
we heard or we think this happened.
Right.
But this, dude, they performed an autopsy.
Right there.
Right there.
Right.
In front of the...
My man performed the autopsy and then threw him out like an umpire.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right there in front of us.
Right. But here's the thing. So all this buildup and energy, but I mentioned it earlier, up to this point, it's all like second, third, fourth hand, right?
Yeah.
We're seeing something come through social media, and we really don't know.
Yeah.
So this is exciting, and I'm so
we got
happy.
weights in their bellies. We got weights in the fish.
Right. And I think like personally, I want to know. We want to know. I think the world wants to know. I'm so excited to have have this next guest on. And I haven't met him yet, but I'm excited to have him on the show to tell the real story. I want to hear what's happened. So joining us now, Brian, I think
Jason
we've got
Fischer.
him.
Yep.
Jason Fischer. And by the way, hats off to Brian the Carpenter for
and Jake.
Yeah, and Jake for making this happen because
Jake found the number real quick.
Thank you, Jake, because this is current. So thank you. Join us right now. We got Jason Fischer join us, who is the tournament director of the circuit where it happened. Jason. Yes.
Oh, hold on a second. Let me do that. Go ahead.
Okay, Jason, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
Very good. Thank you for joining us on the show. Sorry we got to you so late. This show is always late on everything we do. First of all, a lot of our viewers and listeners, they're watching live right now, or they're going to get to this in a day or two or a week from now. Some might not know, but let's do an overview really quick. Big tournament, championship in the walleye world, big event, prestigious event, big deal in the walleye world, and something happened. Something went down that's not right. It breaks everything. It breaks the code of why we fish. Give us the overview of what happened, how this went down. Pete, you made a good point. How did you find out this happened? Give us a little background on what went down.
Well, basically, it's our championship. We're here on Erie. We fish from March till now. Last year we went into November. We just wanted to try to save a little bit of weather, so we shortened the season up a little bit.
Yeah.
And it was all boiling down to literally the last person to weigh in before this exploded, man. I mean, the whole season boiled down to this. We have not only the championship tournament, we've got the team race, we've got a cumulative season long. We do a 5-fish bag. So all the big fish these guys weigh in on the year, we'll do a cumulative score. You know, just all of this hype for the whole year boiled down into this very last team to weigh in.
Yeah.
And, you know, we did it that way on purpose. You know, these guys were the leaders for the team race. They've been consistent. They win a lot. And, you know, we may know why now, or at least we know why they intended on winning this one. And we set it up to bring them up last. And, oh, boy, the world is flipped upside down now, man. Autopsy. I heard you say autopsy. There was nothing surgical about it, but I got them weights out of that damn fish this time. So, yeah, I'm here. I look like you were going to say something.
Yeah, no, we lost you just for a second, but I was going to say, as you were talking, I was in my mind imagining, I think in every tournament world, we know that scenario, right? The Bassmaster Classic, or, you know, a championship event where it's the build-up. And it's, dude, everything's on the line here because it's the biggest thing of the year. I felt, as you were talking, I felt it. And, you know, normally when you have that kind of event, and it's a great thing, too, because Bass does it all the time. Bailey, you know, Bass will purposely hold back the winners or who they think is going to do well,
or
right?
will contend.
Will contend to build drama, build excitement. Mm-hmm. That's a normal thing in the sport. But what's not normal is what happened next. And I think, you know, for me, that's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Pete,
how'd you guys figure out that there was a problem?
Jason, how did it get to the point where here's a team that was competitive all year. They've had another great event. Yes, you know, guys get in the zone, guys get in the rhythm. To, wait a minute, is this
legit?
Is this legit? Is something shady? How did that happen?
So it's been an up and down roller coaster all year long with these guys. You know, when guys have success, you just naturally have other guys complaining about them, whether it's, you know, oh, hey, I don't think that fish was legit, or these guys are doing, you know, better than we think they should be doing. And we have people run, you know, polygraph tests and BSA tests, and hell, the last event we even had camera guys. We were running the first 3 team of the year guys camera boats. You know, we're a small scale, so that type of thing is expensive for us. But I wanted to document what these guys were doing, and I'm not meaning these guys. I'm meaning our anglers.
Right.
You know, and this team just so happened to be part of that because they were in the lead. And they pulled out a win with a camera person on their boat. Now, I don't know if they did something dishonest, you know, with that. But like you know, I heard you talking earlier, you know, these guys have, you know, not this team, but you mentioned a bass angler that had a hidden compartment in his boat, you know, and these, they may be able to do, you know, if they're stuffing weights and fish, I don't know. But he did it with a camera person on his boat. So that restored all my, you know, confidence in him. I'm like, these guys are the best, you know. I praised them. I was jacked up because finally, to me, I was like, we put it to bed. I'm like, these dudes are doing it legit. They did it with my guy on the boat. You know, I was happy for him. I was the first one to call him. You know, and I'm like, hey, man, I'm proud of you guys. You know, I know it's been a rough year, you know, guys giving you a hard time. I said, but you did it. You know, it's over now. And that's what I said to him, you know, and then that brings us to this event. And, you know, here we are. It's our championship. They're in the lead. And, you know, and they went in confident. You know, they say, we're going to, you know, we intend on winning. And I'm just like, yeah, well, do me a favor and don't. So everybody, you know, has a good time today, because, you know, when you have that much success, it ultimately, you know, it rubs people the wrong way.
Yeah.
Because everybody works hard. It's not just one team that works hard. You know?
That was pretty much my entire career fishing with Kevin Van Dam. So I understand that. Yes.
Yeah.
What was the purse today, Jason?
What's that?
What was the purse today? What was first place?
So first place was $8,000 just strictly for the tournament, you know, and there's a lot of extras on top of that that they could have won. So had that team won, it would have been like $28,760 for them.
It's a good payday.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a good purse. Yeah, nice payday.
Well, considering our series, I mean, they enter these events. This event was a $400 entry with an additional options for $120. So that $420 to take home that much money is pretty good.
That's really good. Yeah, that's really good. So I still want to, Jason, tell us the buildup so I can see it. So a success a lot of time breeds hatred. Sometimes,
misplaced.
Sometimes not. And we're at the championship event. They had a camera in the boat, had success in that event. So I can see where it's like, thank God, all these are just rumors.
Yeah.
And then we get to this event. I'm still curious. What was the how did it get
smoking gun?
Yes.
Who flagged
So here it is, and I'd like to take all the credit, but I can't. It's the guys, it's the anglers. So when I held these guys off till the end, I had a couple teams in the race, and our second place team of the year weighed in. They had 22 pounds approximately, and this is a down day for Lake Erie. First of all, like the weather's flipped. We've had a lot of north winds. The fish just weren't biting. I mean, our temperature dropped about 15 degrees. I mean, they were struggling. So I had a lot of teams zero. Good anglers are zeroing. And our second place team of the year, they weigh in 21 pounds, which on a normal Lake Erie day, I mean, you're probably not even weighing. You're just, you're being pissed off and getting in your truck and going home.
Yeah.
But it's a championship. Everybody's sticking around. So they weigh, and that puts them into fifth place. And I studied these numbers, and I knew that the next team, the current first place team of the year, they needed to get to 10th place or better, and they would win team of the year. 11th place or below, and they would lose team of the year. They would take second place. So I had those numbers worked out in my head, and I'm looking at the computer screen, and I see that 11th place is 16.5 pounds roughly. And I'm looking at them take their fish out of the bag and put them in the basket. And I'm like, okay, 4-pounder. I'm like, all right, maybe there's another 4-pounder. I'm like, okay, if they have a 4-pound average, it's going to put them at 20 pounds. I said, they're going to win this thing, So they come up and they have a big fish to weigh. We weigh our big fish first. So they throw it up on the scale. And I see like 7.90 or 91. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, there's just no way. I'm looking at, Lake Erie right now is just chock full of 4 to 5 pound fish. And when this fish hits the scale, I'm just like, no way. But I'm trying to just continue about my job. So they put the next 4 up there, and they got a basket of 5 fish. And I'm thinking, 20, 21, 22 pounds all day long, at most 25. And the scale just jumps to 33 pounds and some change, almost 34.
Holy
And I'm just like you could just see, you could feel it in the whole atmosphere changed.
Yeah.
The wind was taken from my sails, and I'm just like, yeah, you're new leaders, and I'm trying to be happy for them, but I'm just like thinking to myself, there's just no way.
Yeah.
And you can hear the crowd. They're just, some guys are, a little loud and BS, and I can hear it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, hang out. I need pictures of those fish. I need you, I need you to just hang out over here. And I can just, you could just cut the tension with a knife, man. And so that I can hear some anglers start jaw jacking and I'm like, hey, he starts to walk away a bit, and I'm like, you got to stay over here. I want to look at those fish. And there was some back and forth, like, are you serious? This has got to stop. And I'm like, I'm serious. I want to take a look at the fish. So walleye, they don't have to be alive, especially Lake Erie summertime. It's starting to get tough to keep fish alive coming out of 70 foot of water or something. So, the first thing I want to do is just check to see the condition of the fish. Are they alive? Are they, are they mushy? Do they look like they,
being caught today?
What are the, yeah. Mm-hmm. So I pull the first one out, and it's dead. I slap it in the basket, and I pull the second one out, and it's dead as a doornail too, so I'm like, man. So I put the fish on the ground, and I feel it. I actually feel the fish, because a live fish, as you know, it has a firmness about it. So I feel this fish and I kind of squeeze it a little bit, and immediately when I squeezed this fish, I felt hard objects in the belly of this fish.
Ooh.
And I'm just like, I knew instantly, like
Yeah.
not 1 second later, I knew instantly
Scalpel.
what was going on.
Yeah.
So I told my weigh guy, I said, hey, get me a knife. And we turned the live feed off at this point. And I said, get me a knife. And we grabbed the knife, and I handed him my cell phone. I said, turn the video on.
Yeah.
So he turns the video on. I sliced this fish open, man, and the first thing I see is just this nice silver chunk of lead, and I grab that sucker, and I'm like, we got weighted fish, and I got pretty animated at that point in time, and and I basically told him to get out of here.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah. Wow, that's incredible. So I'll say this: because it's hard. Like when you see a fish in the bass world, at least, you want to believe you know what it weighs, right? And you see a fish that's, we talked about earlier, an 18, 19-inch fish in the bass world weighs 4 pounds. It's in that range. So these fish, that was a great catch, Jason, because you're looking at a fish and its body mass. You're saying, yeah, it should be a 4 or 5 pound walleye. Yeah. You put it on the scales, it weighs 7.5 pounds. That's a great catch, That's a great catch.
I would almost it's amazing that you were able to come to that conclusion. Because as a tournament director, I'd be like, is my scale malfunctioning?
Right.
Is
it
is it my problem?
Right.
What's going on? I don't think I would automatically jump to the conclusion that these fish have been stuffed.
Right. But they weighed the big one first, which I think was important to this whole thing, right?
And you have been getting complaints about these guys for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny that you say that, and it brings me back to a memory that I have. Now I've went back and forth. I've thought that there was some dishonesty, then I've been their biggest fan, then I've thought there's it's just so wish-washy with these guys. And I truly try and give them the benefit of the doubt. I try to give all my guys the benefit of the doubt. And I remember an event this year where they put some fish on the scale, and then the fish came off the scale, and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm going fast, and they weren't the last ones to weigh in. So I'm like, did I just see what I think was that the weight? I'm like, that doesn't add up. And I muttered like, let me reweigh those. But I'm not a professional at this. I'm not, we're some local guys. I'm trying to do the best I can.
Yeah.
And I also, am trying to just not, cause a complete scene, but I didn't end up reweighing them because I thought the same thing that you just thought. Is my equipment messed up? Like those are not, did we accidentally weigh the basket and not tear it out?
Right.
Did something like that happen? Because it didn't match up. And bass, bass are a little bit different because they don't grow as long as walleye, but I could say on a consistent basis, the longer the walleyes get, you can kind of pin them in weight classes. 28, 29-inch walleye, you're looking at an 8-9 pound fish, and then spring and fall, they obviously get fatter, but it's just they weigh very similar, especially on Lake Erie, because they're all coming out eating healthy. It's very consistent. And to see a fish, I mean, they're almost not even as long as the basket that I have, and they're not 7-pound fish. You would need a 7-pound average fish to get almost 35 pounds. What they had.
Yeah.
It just didn't add up. And the guys knew it. I mean, if you listen to some of these videos that you see all over social media, they're like, no way, no way.
Right.
And these guys are good, man. One of our anglers, actually stepped up, and he's like, let me see those fish, and he was wanting to get involved, and I already had it in my mind. I was going to inspect the fish, but this guy wasn't going to go down, peacefully. He spoke his piece.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're manipulating the belly. You feel this object and like the one thing that I was most shocked at is the tournament angler. I thought he would run for the hills.
Well, I think one of them did. One of them did. One of them ran for the hills, and one of them stayed. Is that how it worked?
Yeah, that's exactly how it worked.
Yeah.
He was frozen, Pete.
You know
he
what,
was closing
man?
his eyes, clicking his heels, trying to say, make this all go away.
Calgon, take
this
it
is
away.
not happening right now. Yeah,
he was in dreamland.
Yeah,
nightmare.
And that was crazy that this went down. And take us through. You found the lead, right? You've got the gun, the
evidence,
the murder weapon.
Yeah, evidence. It's clear.
You've got the gun.
Yeah.
How did you? I guess the next thing is maybe to try to keep the mob under control.
Yeah.
Well, your job was a hard one.
Yeah.
I know. Like I said, I know these dudes, and I'm telling you right now, you don't. It's like pissing off some people in a bar. You know, you walk into the wrong bar.
Yeah.
The wrong guys. These dudes. You know, it's not just their money. You know, it's their family life. It's their vacation time off work.
Yeah.
It's all inclusive. It's the egos. You know, I mean, these guys want to win. Most of these guys roll up to the parking lot and they got $200,000 worth of boat and truck. They don't care to win $8,000. I mean, it's nice, but they just spent, you know, a lot of these guys, you know, running 40, 50, 60 miles to go fish the best water. Gas prices are up. I mean, they want to win. They don't, you know, they don't care to win, you know, a couple grand a piece, you know. You know, so it was a bad environment. I'm like, dudes, you got to go, and guys, do not touch them. You know, I'm like, don't make a bad situation worse. I said, don't touch them.
Right.
And nobody did.
Strong
they made
leadership.
them stay. They made them stay though, because they called the police and they wanted them to stay. They said, no, you're not going anywhere. You stay. You know. But nobody touched them. You know, that's a good thing.
I got two things. So what's the police involvement? How's that going to play out?
Well, all of the information was turned over to the Division of Wildlife. They're gonna investigate, and you know, potential charges would be up to them. So local law enforcement has all the information, and we'll let them do their job, and anything they need from us, we'll give to them.
Okay. Do you have any idea what may come of it from that aspect?
You know, so there was fish fillets inside the fish. You probably have some game violations there. You may have some attempted theft or theft by deception. You know, I don't know. Obviously, the amounts they wanted to know, the amount of money these guys could have won. They took all my tournament records from this whole year. You know, there's a bigger picture, obviously, that they're looking at. So. And they know these things. You know, there's been precedents set all across the country, so I'm sure they'll resource out, you know, what other jurisdictions have done, you know, but, I'm confident they'll do their job, and they'll hopefully bring some peace to this thing.
My question is, how did they pull that off with a cameraman in the boat? Do you think they could have paid him off, or?
Well,
so that's I mean,
yeah,
that's always, you know, so I'm hearing a lot of that on social media. It's weird because when this happened and they won, there was some haters running their mouth about, oh, yeah, the cameraman fell asleep and then they did stuff to the fish. It was almost rumors that they started that, like, and I'm not saying that they started them, but these were rumors, or no, there was no rumor mill. I didn't hear from one of my anglers any complaints. But then the haters, I'm hearing all these complaints like, oh, yeah, now people are saying you did this, or now people are saying you did that. Nobody was talking except for them, like the haters, you know, and I'm just like, these guys could have done anything on that boat. And our camera guy, you know, he wasn't paid off. He's a naive, younger dude who was jacked up. He was getting good film.
Yeah.
And, you know, they did catch fish. I mean, they may have won the tournament fair and square, but you know what? If they have some system on dropping these weights and fish, I'm sure it doesn't take long. Or when the camera guy gets off the boat and they're pulling the truck up to the scales or something, I just don't know. But, you know, if they did it with a camera guy on the boat, it was their perfect storm because they got me. I was on their side after that event.
Yeah. Let me say this. I want to jump in real quick.
I still have part 2, but go ahead.
I know. Hold on. I want to jump in real quick and say this. First thing, walleye anglers, walleye tournament anglers are fucking awesome. I want to say that real quick because I got a chance to fish a few walleye tournaments in my history. They're amazing and they're hardcore. And this isn't indicative to all walleye fishermen, right? This is a problem that all fishing has had.
True.
And walleye guys can drink a lot of beer too, which I really appreciate. The other thing I want to say to you, Jason, is the video that I saw where you got pissed off because this is your deal. And I honestly, I looked at that and I'm like, man, that's freaking awesome because I can see that you were passionate about it. And it like reminded me of like, there were two things that reminded me of. One was it reminded me sort of like a Chris Farley movie that I saw before. But the other one was me and Pete Glusick got into a fight at a bar before many years ago. And Pete was so mad, he was like banging on his chest. It reminded me of that. But it was the same thing because it was like, seriously, it was like, man, this is bullshit because it's something I'm passionate about. So
not a fight with each other.
Right, not a fight with each other, a fight with somebody else. But I appreciate that, Jason.
Didn't he tear his shirt off and beat his hairy chest?
No, he's just beating his chest. No, he didn't tear his shirt off, but he was beating his chest.
I think he did.
I wasn't opposed to it.
Okay, Brian, what else did you have? I know you had something else. Go ahead, yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's fucked up now because you guys all stepped all over it, which is stupid shit.
I know.
I was just saying, like, maybe next time, telling the guys don't touch them. Another option would be all cameras off. You know what I mean? Because honestly, and this is the people that, will say that this isn't the great idea, but fuck them. Sometimes people need to get punched in the face. I mean, it's just, I think it would have served them well. I mean, at the end of the day, what are they? Yeah, it's a different world because we've allowed certain people to make it turn the damn cameras off and punch them in the face.
Yeah.
Like
it's a different world though. I think it will come full circle though, and they'll get what they deserve. But here's I think they will.
A broken nose still hurts.
But here's the big thing that I want to say.
It always will hurt.
Yeah, and Jason, this is crazy because I think what happened, and I'm glad you handled it the way you did. I think what you did and what happened is a good thing for tournament fishing.
Yes.
And it will change. It will change the sport of tournament fishing across the board. I really think it will. Mm-hmm. And I think it was important that it happened at this public level. Because, Pete, you mentioned it. It's happened before. This isn't anything new. We've heard this stuff since we fished from the late 80s to now, right?
Sure.
We've heard of these stories. But to have this documentation, I think in the next year or two, you will see walleye, crappie, bass tournaments take new measures to not have this happen, And I think it was great the way it was documented because I think it needed to happen.
Oh, yeah, dude. The
it
angry
needed
South,
to happen.
Sounded like a South Park crowd.
Yeah.
Took our jobs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it did.
Jason,
yeah.
So what was with the walleye fillets? I have my theory on that, but
I'm just, the only thing I'm thinking of is it probably was something that could be undetected. You're not going to feel it. It's natural. It's not going to go off in some detector, and I don't know if that was put in there and then they're like, man, we probably ought to get some more weight in there. I don't know, but it's just a natural thing that I assume they would think went undetected.
I feel like it was put in there as part of the weights to pad the bellies.
Pad the bellies?
That's what I was thinking. Like, I know when you held the one up, it looked like there was a string hanging from it. Maybe there wasn't. I didn't know if they were sewing the weights into the fillets and then they came undone, but I was thinking.
No, there was nothing like that. It was just kind of a big sloppy mess in there. But again, there was no surgical precision, man. It was just slice and dice and start ripping weights out of these fish and
stomp their heads into the ground. Yeah.
Well, when weights come out of a fish, you got a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a problem. I want to check in, Jake. What do we got coming through? I know we got a lot of people watching and listening that are fed up too, like everyone. So what do we got coming through the IMs right now?
We got a good one from Nicholas Law on Facebook. He said overseas in Japan they use metal detectors on the fish before they get weighed in.
Yeah, like wands, like
Yeah,
okay.
Yep.
That's Mexico.
Mexico, okay.
Wands.
And we need hats to say we got weights and fish. from Jabber,
we
from
got weights
Nolan Miner.
No.
Oh, we need the hats. Yeah. No, I honestly think the metal detector thing might be something you see, Pete.
Unfortunately, I guess we're going to see it.
Yeah.
You know, because it could happen. It could be happening under our noses in bass fishing tournaments.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Because bass are a little different, right? Because they can, they get wide.
Right.
And you could hide. I'm not trying to give anybody ideas.
Yeah.
But you may be able to hide weight in fish like that. It
Right.
might be happening under our nose.
Right.
When there's money on the line, anything's possible.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's a great
money
keeps
getting bigger.
Yeah, that's a great point, Bailey. It's money can make honest people crazy. It really can, and that's a shame that it's like that. But like as a tournament guy, I can step back and say, I don't compete for that. Like this year, and bass is a great example, dude. I sucked asshole. I couldn't not catch a fish this year.
Yeah, you could have used some
But
weights.
I could have used weights, but I would never trade that
No.
because it's not why I do it, right? But
for me, it was always.
But
like,
money changes things.
Yeah, like I would never want to have an infraction that would keep me out of the sport that I love so much.
Right.
You know, so if I err on the side of caution to my own detriment a lot of times.
Right. Heard that.
You know, like I didn't go into a creek one time last year on the Potomac because I was like,
because you thought it might be off limits.
I thought it might be off limits, and I'm like, I can't.
Right.
I love this sport, man.
Right.
I don't want anything to stop me from doing it. You know,
It's like what your mother says when you're a kid. It's like think about the consequences before your actions.
Yeah.
Right.
If they scare you, then don't do it.
Right.
Don't be a moron, you idiot.
Right.
Right. Like that.
Right,
That's
that
what Mom
too.
said.
Yeah.
Right, Jake. What do you got?
Jason, did this team they fished a fall brawl and a walleye slam? Did they lose because of a polygraph? Failing a polygraph?
Yeah, so I currently run the fall brawl now. I did not run it last year, and they won that tournament with, again, a 29-inch fish that weighed 12.79 something pounds. So kind of, although it was fall and the fish are fat, there was some controversy over that fish. And then ultimately the fall brawl didn't pass them on their polygraph. So that, they were disqualified there. And then the walleye slam did pass them on their polygraph. So, who knows? I don't have the results, although I'm the new current owner of the fall brawl. I never got to the bottom of the story because of legal reasons, the old administration, and then these contestants kept that, secret, I guess. So it was a huge deal with these guys. And that was the thing. It was like, did they do something wrong or didn't they? Because ultimately these polygraphs are tools, they're instruments, and humans are the ones that run them.
Right.
So you just never know what you get. And it's kind of the best we have in these type of situations when you're fishing out by yourself. Obviously, you got to look into a few more precautions now, but like you said, it may change the game, but it was a huge deal last year, and it involved these guys.
Right.
Jason, how do you think these guys are going to be treated next year on tour?
Well, you know what? Honestly, I don't want to see anybody lose everything they got. I think they did a pretty good job at doing that, though. I don't think they'll ever fish any tournament ever again, anywhere. But like, fishing is a pastime. You grow up and I know that these guys, have kids, and I hope that the sport isn't ripped from them and they can get back to at least being able to enjoy the sport. I really am sorry that this happened for them, because everybody everybody makes mistakes, but this one's inexcusable.
Yeah.
But it's a, fishing is a way of life from, as you guys know, and I hope that they could at least get that back.
That's admirable, Jason.
Yeah.
But this isn't their first time. They've been doing it a long time. In my opinion, they put 8 pounds into 5 fish. That's not like dipping your toes in. They've been doing it. They've been getting away with it, and they're addicted to it. And I hope they never fish again, and I hope they golf. I hope they take their bullshit to the golf course.
That's worse than a prison sentence, Brian.
I'm just saying that's what I'd like to see.
You're trying to make them golfers.
And their children golf too.
Wow. Oh, God, that's below the belt right there.
I'm just saying, Jason.
Damn, now their
At
kids
that
are
rate, hostility.
Yeah, the hostility with the golf statement.
It's interesting because the 8 pound. At first, I thought 8 pounds of weights. That's a monumental amount. But if you distribute it over 5 fish, that's like 1.75 pounds of fish.
It's still a lot, though. That's still a lot. I mean, this was nice that Jake brought this in. We've got a little wicker basket here, Jason. I don't know if you can see this that was brought in here. And we have lead weights. These are probably a different kind, but that's a 3-ounce weight right there.
3 ounce.
Wow.
That's a 3 ounce.
Yep.
Just that one. So if you're going to pound, what did you just say? A pound and what?
That's 1.3 pounds. That's an extra pound in addition to this weight.
In addition to that weight. So
that's probably
that's
an 8,
a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's huge.
That's incredible. Wow.
Yeah.
Was there a pair of pliers
amazing.
too, Jason?
Yeah, I keep hearing that. So that's my pair of pliers. We cut the fish open with like a Leatherman type tool.
Okay.
Yeah, suppliers weren't actually in there.
Okay.
I got you.
Wow. Well, this was a big deal. I mean, I think it took the world by storm for sure, and for sure it did. And but things like this, it's very. I think it's reactive. Like I think it was in high. When we look at it years later, it's going to be a good thing for the sport. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a good thing because we want things to be on the up and up. And I think other circuits will look at this and say, we need to address it.
Jason, I heard they won $300,000 last year.
Ooh.
That team.
Ooh.
So,
wow.
I haven't got out the pad and paper or pen and paper, but they won a boat, and the boat was estimated. At least they advertised it as $150,000. So you got that.
Wow.
And in the same event, I believe they took like 11th place or something. So they got some cash for that. In my events, they won a lot of money. They won other people's events. I mean, they won a lot of money, and I don't know if it totals $300,000. It's probably somewhere in that ballpark. But just for my event, and that would have been about 30 for Friday's event, and you had 3 previous events that they won of mine this year. I mean, it was just like you said, they kept they got greedy.
Yeah.
They kept going back to that. They were getting away with it, and they were addicted, is what
Yeah.
It could be, if that's true, they just tapped that resource one too many times and got caught.
Yep.
It was just a perfect storm. If they were weighing in like in the middle of things, I don't know if I would have had enough guts to just stop the whole deal and do that.
Yeah.
If they were dead last, and I knew it, like I calculated in my brain exactly what they needed, and I'm looking at it because I'm studying it, and I want to be interesting while I was up there, and it was just a perfect storm. It just didn't add up to me.
Yeah.
Well, man, that's a great heads up by you, and you showed great leadership at when all this was going down. So I just want to, congratulate you for that. It's a tough situation, man.
Yeah.
Very
you
tough.
handled it well.
Yeah, you did.
Yep.
You did. Yeah, hats off. Hats off.
I
for sure.
appreciate it. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Well, Jason, I appreciate you coming on. I mean, it was like I said, what you see on social media and what actually happened can often be two different things. So it was great to hear the real story and get clarification on what happened, and we appreciate you coming on the show. It was awesome to hear it from you.
I appreciate you inviting me. It was awesome. to tell the story. And one thing I did want to kind of just say, and you guys already touched on it, this isn't a walleye fishing problem. This isn't a bass fishing problem.
Yeah.
This is a tournament fishing problem. And you guys, as well as our guys, do so many good things for the community, whether it's gas stations, hotels, restaurants, local businesses, local bait shops, repping sponsors, your uncles, brothers, mothers started a product and you got them on your t-shirt, and these guys do things, it's a family, and they help, kids with cancer. And as a matter of fact, at this event, we were helping some families struggling with cancer. There's so many good things that come about from fishing and competitive fishing. That's not just a bunch of, thugs up here trying to cheat people out of money. And it's the opposite. This is the extreme minority. And most guys do this on the up and up. And most guys value their reputation way more than they value $8,000. And, guys like you, set the stage for just guys like us that want to be part of it. And we want to be that big stage, and we try our ass off to do that. And, this is not tournament fishing. Come out, check out the tournaments. It's a great atmosphere, and be a part of it and learn some stuff, because it's not this.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree. Jason, real quick, we got a lot of people watching probably from the walleye world as well tonight. If someone's watching tonight and they want to come fish your circuit next year, can you leave us with a website or a link or something? Well, how can they find you?
So they can find us. It's Lake Erie walleyetrail.com, Lake Erie walleyetrail.com, and we've got signups going on for the fall brawl. It's Lake Erie Fall Brawl. It's a $35 entry. Biggest fish. You can win a brand new boat. We're giving away some boats, big prizes, and last year it ended up being won by a guy fishing out of a John boat.
Heck yeah!
Not even a
Love
couple hundred yards offshore, man.
Heck yeah!
Oh yeah!
Tiny boat madness.
Retreads.
I love that.
Yeah, he upgraded from a tin boat to a Ranger 622.
Holy smokes!
Nice.
Wow. Dang. Pete, you want to go
Jason,
for the tournament?
so who are the winners? Who are the winners from this event?
Yeah, who are the actual winners? We need to give them a shout out too.
Yeah, so the actual winners, I'm gonna give 3 shout outs here. So
how about it, buddy?
Got actual winners are the Lake Erie Walleye Trail anglers. They got a clean slate. We got some cheaters off the block. The winners of the event, Steve Tisco and Chris French. They won the championship.
Yes,
Frenchie!
Frenchie!
Shout out to Frenchie.
Yeah.
Woo!
And my man won Team of the Year. We've got Steve Hendricks and Brian Almer. Those dudes rocked it all year long.
Right on.
They pulled it out, and they're Team of the Year.
Heck yeah!
Awesome.
So
it's awesome.
I appreciate you guys, man. It's been awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, Jason, thanks for coming on.
Thank you,
Thank you
Jason.
for
Thanks
coming
for straightening us out. We know the story now. We appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
Sir.
Jason Fischer, everybody. Yes.
Good job, bud.
Yes. That was awesome. And honestly, I'd love to hear it from the horse's mouth, because, who the hell knows when shit's being spread through social media. So and so post this, TikTok, this, that, blah blah. You don't know,
right?
And to get to hear it from the horse's mouth was great. But let me say this, Brian the Carpenter, because I know we still got a couple things to do, housekeeping, but the implications are great across the board. Because let me say this.
Yes.
I know a lot of people watching right now will be like, this is just a walleye problem.
Nah, dude.
Because they use a leech and they troll, and it's critical, or whatever, in an Al Linder voice, right? They're saying that to themselves. But it's a bigger problem because, here you have a team, right? A team tournament where you're saying 2 dudes in a boat as a team, launching out Lake Erie. It's like the ocean.
Yeah.
That's a problem. But, dude, we have the problem. We have the problem. Let me tell you this.
I have a list of the problem.
Oh.
Let me tell you mine, and then, Pete, since you got the list, I'll let you go on. Bailey, check this out.
Check it out, Bill.
4 times this year in the elites,
4.
I fished by myself. They let me launch. BASS let me launch in an elite tournament by myself. In the bylaws, it said I had to run a camera. They never checked my camera. They never checked my chip. They never requested for the content from that day. I ran my camera because it was in the contract that I signed. Who the fuck knows? I'm out there at Santee where there's 5, 10, 15 pounders on beds everywhere. I'm by myself. What about the opens? Twice in the opens this year, I fished by myself with no check and balance. Dude, this isn't a walleye problem. This is a problem that goes across the board.
Walleye fillets.
It worries me.
Well, it's going to that's going to bring to light maybe some of the rules that are taking place right now, some checks and balances. But like in the opens and even in the elites, you never know that you're not going to have a partner.
You don't know,
right? So there's.
But I still hate it.
It's hard to prepare to cheat if you anticipate you're always going to have a partner. You know,
maybe
it's a good point.
I don't know.
I have my top list of infractions.
Okay.
You have a list?
I have a list.
All right.
Powered by Paul. Let me get a drum roll.
Drum roll. Pete's list.
He's still awake.
Pete's list.
Man, it's hard. I can't really put these in order except for number one. Number one, I think I have. There was a
broken trolling motor cables.
There was a BFL infraction by Hoyle caught with an 11-ounce weight stuffed into a bass. An 11-ounce hand-poured lead weight stuffed in was DQ'd from ever competing in BFL tournaments in North Carolina in 2012.
Huh.
We have we talked about this, the Nate Wellman incident.
Oh, yeah.
Where offered to purchase a bass from his co-angler.
Right. Buy it right there on the spot.
Buy it. He suffered a $2,500 penalty.
That's it?
And was put on probation. And the FLW prevented him from fishing for a year. That was his penalty. But
he should have been forced to golf.
He said he was joking. His co-angler said it sounded serious. There's no real, and no real cheating or benefit was ever taking place.
Right.
So that's down low on my list. Mike Jones, the longtime writer for Bassmaster magazine, every single entry into the largest bass weighed in is a violation.
What?
Is this the Mike Jones that we met at?
Yeah.
Every single
I like that guy.
one.
Yeah.
That guy's
like
dope.
they're all caught on trout. They all have lead weights. There's
the one
something going on with almost every entry.
Oh, well, I would agree with that. We don't know the historical world record because we don't have as much info on that one. But the current tie to the world record from Japan was caught on a bluegill, and that's a fact.
Yes.
Is that a fact?
That's a fact.
Is it openly said as it was a bluegill?
100%.
So they admitted it was a bluegill.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yes.
Which leads me to the snagging of Mike Long on all those California Giants, just egregiously, selling and building an entire platform around it, and just pulling the wool over the whole fishing community's eyes. Go Google Mike Long snagging bass, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
You Google it.
Story time with Uncle Pete.
The most.
I'm surprised we're not supposed to find it on TikTok.
Don't encourage him, Paul.
This happened before TikTok. Believe it or not.
Pete, was there life before TikTok?
I'm not sure.
It was a boring one.
I'll have to check. But to me, the most egregious and horrible cheating took place by Tony Christian, who won $500,000.
FLW.
He won the All-American, and he was caught using a fish trap And the
giant cover-up. This is a historical moment that is giant cover-up in the history of bass. God bless you.
He apparently there was a cancellation or weather delay, 1 hour to fish, and he was highlighted in he threw to one spot on a dock and caught a solid limit of fish that put him in contention in the tournament, which red flagged him. And he went out the next day, and they were prepared with video, and they had identified a fish trap off that dock that had bass in it. It had a rubber top with an X through it, where he was able to pitch his bait through there, and basically
elaborate, dude.
hide the catches from his co-angler and from the camera even, right? Because it appeared as though, and he was pitching the bait into a place.
Was he snagging them?
No, they were
eating it.
They were eating it because they had been in there.
They were starved.
They were starved fish, or that would be the assumption. But he was actually getting the bass to eat in the trap, his bait.
Yeah.
And then when he would set the hook, the flaps would open up to allow the fish to come through.
Dude, that's trick. I mean, not to give that, cheating's
points.
bad.
Fair enough.
But, dude, way better than a damn dumb weight in the stomach of a walleye.
Yeah.
That's
fish
badass.
fillets or not, this is weight over.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Crazy.
And he was this went on. He won $500,000 in 2 years.
Wow.
Before he was banned, and that was his punishment. Like nobody that I'm aware of has been
jailed,
prosecuted,
right?
Dang.
Just by the organization saying
you're banned,
fish.
you're eliminated,
wow,
or like fined, like some small fines going on.
Jake and Brian Carpenter, Tony Christensen. Write that in your notes.
Tony Christian.
Christian as the next guest on Ike Live.
I want to say there's someone in kayak that's been.
Yeah, I remember there was one guy. Wouldn't he cut the tails off a bass and then cover his hand up?
Yep.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
You didn't
Did
hear
I
about that?
Oh, I saw that.
Really?
Yeah, kayaks had some.
No, I heard of the boards being bent.
There was that.
Catch boards being bent or altered.
No, what the guy would do is he would cut the tail off, and you know how you cover the fish's body with your hand?
Yeah.
He would move it up just an inch so that there's just empty space where your hand is covering.
Yeah, so
Make
like
the
you
fish
caught a
look
fish
longer.
that had like a long, good tail.
Yep.
Cut the tail off of it, and on your smaller fish, like a 13, 14 incher, put the tail on where you're allowed to hold by the tail. So cover the part where the tail is on that fish. Give it that tail, and you get an extra 2 inches.
Whoa.
That dude was caught with like fish tails in his kayak. They had him dead to rights, and I believe, I'm not 100% believe he was put in jail.
You will get caught. You will get caught.
Yeah.
I was researching that Utah had a situation where they had fish that were
the Mormons.
They looked different. It was so crazy. Like they had the pink fins, like they had been kept in a cage forever and ever, and they actually sampled them and were testing the genealogy of the DNA of the fish. Trying to prosecute those guys, and you will get caught.
Yeah,
you will get caught.
Yeah. Well, either way, this was an incredible thing because I think Brian, you said it. It was caught on film, right? It was caught on camera. It was pretty unique because we've had these things before, Pete. That was a big list, but none of those were caught technically on film, right? This is the first one.
Like straight on the spot. Busted on the spot. Standing there with an angry mob.
Yeah, lynch mob.
Yeah, sound like South Park right behind them.
Yeah. Wow. Crazy.
Yeah, it was dope.
That is
crazy.
Perks
Well, we'll
of the
see
cell
how it
phone
changes
era.
the world. I would, real quick, just to get back to the thing with bass, I would say my take on letting the guys out by themselves, whether it's in an open or an elite, is the league has to take responsibility of capturing that content, not the anglers, right? So if you have a field of 100 elite anglers and you only have 8 marshals or 80 marshals, those 20 guys that go up by themselves, they should all have cameras on their boats that are league initiated cameras that are set up and recorded by the league on your boat, not by you. That's the way to handle that, because that still freaks me out. I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm not saying, I met most of the elite guys. I think they're good guys. But money changes people, man.
Money does put
and
people
I
in a weird
don't want
spot.
anybody going out fishing by themselves without a check and balance. If you can't get a guy to co-angler or marshal in that boat, the league's responsibility to set that camera in there, not the angler's responsibility. They're just dumb fishermen.
That's a good
so
point.
I tasked the league with
No,
that.
you're right about that, dude.
I tasked the league with that.
I think
The angler's
That's
gotta
their
pay-
responsibility.
I agree with you on that.
They're making enough money. Spend the money on that. Trying to put a lot of money in your pockets. I get it. Spend the extra money. You have to have a camera on those boats.
Well, we got to keep it honest, and for the most part, we do. But people are going to bend the rules. They're going to constantly try to bend the rules.
That and get rid of active target. No, that was a joke. I just want to fire people up on that one. That one was a joke. I'm not kidding about that. I'm just kidding about that one. But, man, what a guest!
Yeah.
What a guest! What amazing!
What an
thing.
event in fishing that took place. It's crazy.
Pretty crazy. Pretty wild. Last chance, guys. If you're watching, we're getting close to the end here. If you're watching still on Facebook, like and share the feed. If you do that, you got a little bit of time here. We're going to enter you in a contest to win the Ike Live gift bag if you're watching over on Facebook. We have anything that came through? You want anything unique, Jake?
A lot
that
of
came
shit.
through? You want to put a couple through, and then I'd like to open this Mr. Tackle box. We'll pass it around a little bit. What do you got?
From our local news sources on the message board, they said there were some high school kids in Texas that were caught.
High school kids?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Pulling fish from a basket.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
I
That's
remember
bad.
it's been a year for cheating.
That's bad.
Has it?
There's been a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, the high school thing just bummed me out, though.
That was like a week. That was like a Wednesday nighter, I thought.
Yeah, it was like a little
Oh,
tournament.
that bums me out.
Yeah.
That bums me out.
Again, golf.
Yeah.
Send them to
Bums me out.
golf.
I hate that.
Give them a basketball. Here,
Bums me
go
out.
dribble this.
What else you got, Jake?
And don't use tungsten. It costs more than your tournament entry.
Don't use tungsten to stuff a
Still-
fish?
Yeah, still use lead.
8 pounds. I wonder how much 8 pounds of tungsten would cost.
I don't know.
Good gosh.
It's smaller, though. It's smaller.
Easier to
Don't
hide.
listen.
I know.
Don't
I'm not
listen.
saying anything. I'm just saying tungsten is smaller than
But
lead.
yeah, what does 8 pounds of Jake? You sell tungsten?
You're at $1. You're at $10 for an ounce. So you're at $160.
Wait.
A pound.
A pound.
$10 a pound or $10 an ounce? Not
$10 an ounce. So you're at $160 a pound.
Wait, $10 an ounce? A
Yeah,
1
it's
ounce
not
tungsten
possible.
weight, one single 1 ounce tungsten weight is $10.
Yeah, through the retail, yeah. Retail, yeah.
Well, you don't pay for shit.
No. I have no idea. No, wait a minute.
That's
You're
legit.
Not, wait a minute. Guys aren't paying $10 for a single ounce weight,
Sure
are they?
are.
Oh,
Yes.
definitely.
They are?
Definitely.
I don't know. I don't pay for shit. You're right.
You son of a bitch!
I
Look what
know.
you're doing to your people.
I mean, I VMC.
You need to
I've
pay
been working
attention.
with,
You're peddling that
well,
shit,
bullshit. I've
dude.
been working with VMC forever.
You should know.
I don't know.
You're peddling that
Dude,
shit.
now.
Is it really that much? Oh, God, I feel bad now.
Try an
You
ounce and a
should
quarter.
repent.
Ounce and a half.
I feel bad. I actually feel bad now.
Paul, pray for him.
Damn, I've been breaking weights off like there nothing. I feel bad now.
He's
And
dirty.
then, and then,
Got
and
the
then
snakes
people like
out.
me gotta buy it.
Oh,
You don't have to worry about buying it.
Oh, man. Why'd we even bring this shit up? Now I
Paul's
feel
crawling
bad.
over
wait a
guardrails.
Oh man.
That's
$10
$160.
$10 for a weight, for a 1 ounce weight?
I don't use
Oh,
tungsten.
my
man.
God.
$7
this
on
is-
Tackle Warehouse. Shop
Dude,
there.
it'd be $1,200 for 8 pounds of tungsten.
Wow. Huh. That's crazy.
And $12 for lead.
Jeez.
$1,200.
This is let me throw this out there real quick. This is more of a BU live part, but
What, the lead?
there are times when lead is better than tungsten. That's a BU topic.
Bob Sully came on and was telling us about it.
Oh yeah, I think that is a cool topic because
So
there
far.
are times
I
when lead's
love to
better
listen
than
to
tungsten.
that. Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm intrigued
You're right.
because I'm so gung ho on
Yeah.
tungsten.
Carolina rigging. There are
Well,
times
Larry-
snagging and rocks.
Dude,
Brian Carter, come back to me on it.
I had the guy I was paired with.
Come back to me.
Nathan Troyanek. Shout out,
Shout out
homeboy.
Nathan.
He was drop shot with like freaking 10 or something. His weights were like this big.
Giant.
I'm exaggerating.
Cannonballs.
But guess who wasn't getting snagged?
Right.
Oh yeah, let me get tungstens and get every freaking nook and cranny.
I'm gonna go Larry
Get
Nixon
the fuck
on
out
you.
of here with that
Larry
shit.
Nixon.
Larry Nixon, a Bash University seminar uses lead on the lightweights, like whenever he's using a bullet sinker in the 16th and 8th, and even quarter, because it matches up better with the bait.
It's true.
It's a better streamlined.
It's a more streamlined because the tungsten's so tiny, it looks awkward.
Tiny.
It doesn't look
and
natural.
There's like a lip too that causes snagging.
So the bigger lead is a benefit in the lighter weights.
Jake Market. This is a whole BU seminar. We're doing the next BU live.
Send it right to Rose.
Yeah, this isn't like live. It doesn't involve any curse words, so we don't want to talk about it here.
Curse.
All right. This is the cool part of the show. If you're still hanging in there with us, thank you for watching tonight. We've had a great show. Of course, so we got Bailey talking about all great stuff, and we had the walleye thing, which we I think we figured that out a little bit. That was kind of cool. But this is, we're the only live podcast, Pete, that does a MTB unboxing. I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't know that.
We are.
Well, I guess I did know that.
Yes. So
it says it every time.
Yeah. So we are doing a MTB Elite unboxing tonight. This is my favorite part. Pete, you know I put the mic real close.
Yeah.
Here's the seal breaking. You ready? Oh, wait, Paul, listen. Wait. Wow, did you hear that?
Yeah, yep.
I heard it.
And we're going to pass this around. Pete, you know how the game works. We're going to pass it around. We're going to grab a bait, grab whatever bait you want, something to catch your eye, and we're going to talk about it. Bailey's our guest, so we're going to start with Bailey tonight.
I like it.
We're going to start with Bailey.
Oh,
Bailey,
boy.
pick one thing out.
Thank you, sir.
We'll pass it over to Paul, and we'll just keep going around.
Okay. Take this from you, suckers.
Oh, you got a good one, didn't you? Oh, I see you hiding it, too.
Yeah.
What do you got? What do you got, Bailey?
I got a Bass Reaper Bait Co. It's a icicle. It's a drop shot bait.
Ooh.
What's that?
It's a long drop shot bait.
It is.
It's like a 6-inch
It's got like
bait.
a spade tail.
It does.
Yeah.
It almost reminds me of the old jelly worm. You remember the jelly worm tail?
I do.
I just watched an episode.
Dude, very
About the
similar.
jelly
Thank
worm.
you, Paul. Very
Yeah, it's
similar.
almost like an arrowhead at the end of the tail.
Look at
Kind
that.
of like your stick worm that you put like a cover shot, like an EWG style hook on.
Yeah.
Drop shot in grass or something.
And I got a Phoenix Elite Series Arky jig. It's got a nice brown color, 3/8 ounce.
Ooh.
I'm a jig kind of guy. I like caught some nice
Now,
fish
wait a
on
minute.
jigs.
Wait a minute. Is that, hold on, let me see this. Is that living rubber or silicone? Oh, it's silicone, but it almost looks living rubber.
Yeah, it's a nice color to it.
Wow.
Really natural
Breathable.
color.
Phoenix.
Yep.
Wow. I like that. All right, Pete. This was sort of like with Bailey winning on a frog today.
You didn't get that frog.
I saw
see the
this.
frog.
And
Yeah.
I was kind of like, yeah, I'm grabbing the frog.
Yeah. Like,
I'm surprised he didn't grab
Paul,
the
I didn't even
Paul's
see
like,
there was a
how
frog.
did he let that frog
Yeah,
go
I
by?
know, but I just felt like the timing was right. This is a, Brian, how do you say this? Tataki?
Tataki.
Tataki? Tataki frog.
Tataki?
Yes, and this is from 10,000 Fish, which I think is a Ketchco brand. This is, their tagline is roam the pads. Roam the pads, and I've got a black and red frog. Cool color combination, right?
Popping or no pop?
No propping, no popping. It's just a front-faced frog.
Paul,
All right,
no
here's
popping.
my deal. Here's my deal. The softness is a big factor for me, and I like this.
Flaccid.
I like this because it's soft.
It's a nice flaccid frog.
It's soft. Two other things real quick that I noticed. It has the body is actually molded with little, you see that little inset?
Big profile.
Indents, yeah.
So the hooks actually set in little depressions on the body. I like that. Last but not least, Pete, give me, you know what that is. You tell me so I don't seem like a fool when I tell
That's
the
like
camera.
LeMay.
LeMay?
That stuff?
Yeah.
What is that?
Alumafoil.
Lumaflex.
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 Is that what it is?
That's
Yes.
it comes from LeMay.
Does it come from LeMay?
Gold
That's a
LeMay.
Becky thing, LeMay.
Yeah.
Gold
Isn't that-
LeMay.
Is that cosmetics?
No.
Gold lame?
Remember those
Like
old
pants?
Ranger jerseys that we had with the flashy like thing? That was
Yeah.
lame.
Crushed
Lame.
velvet.
All right, whatever it is, Lumaflex, Lame, or Flashaboo, whatever it is.
Flashaboo.
Jake got
Very
that thing.
cool. Very cool because I haven't seen that in a lot of frogs. I
Yeah.
like that in combination with the silicone. That's pretty cool.
That is very cool.
I would definitely throw that.
Where was the tournament that Aaron Martins won? Was it
Oh,
Havasu?
shit. It was Havasu.
With the black and red birds?
Blackbirds.
There's your
Dude,
pattern.
very close.
Yeah.
Black and orange, black and red.
It's funny you say that.
That's a good-looking frog,
Because
man.
I was
Pretty good-looking
watching.
frog, dude.
I was watching the Len Dollar. Isn't he the guy?
Yeah, Lynn Dollar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lynn Dollar.
That puts the old Bassmaster shows
Oh, yeah,
up.
all the old ones, yeah.
And I went down a rabbit hole with them.
Yeah.
Watched Clear Lake. And
Byron? The one Byron
No,
won?
no.
Steve Kennedy?
Steve Kennedy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. What is
Dude.
this thing called? A Huddleston,
Do you
man?
remember all the ones he had to let go? That
Oh,
he
yeah.
Hooked outside the mouth.
Hooked outside the mouth, yeah.
He had that treble hook that kept
Oh, yeah.
snagging him on the top of
And
the
it
lip.
didn't matter. It didn't
It
matter.
didn't matter.
He
He
was
kept
catching so
catching
many
them.
7-8 pounders. Didn't matter. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, man.
Yeah.
Outside the mouth. man.
And what happened?
He won.
He still won.
But those days are over.
Yeah.
But then the Falcon, I watched that. I started this big fish thing, and
Oh,
I watched
yeah.
Paul Elias win Carolina rigging a man's 12-inch jelly worm with that same tail.
Those fish were dumb, though, let me tell you.
Ugh,
I remember that
I
tournament.
can't imagine.
Oh, my God, they were dumb.
That must have been
Never been fished
a
before.
magic moment.
Oh, God. Never been
Shout out
fished
to Wabahogie lady.
Crazy. Well, here's
What do
a
you got,
bait.
Pete?
Here's a bait that I would never throw, and
Ah!
this is why I like this bait. Like I would see this, and I'm like, the bill is almost as long as the bait.
Yeah.
Like
Little body, but
super
dives
little
deep.
body, dives super
Yes.
Good for winter fishing.
deep. And I'm looking at this, and I'm excited that I would put this in my arsenal. I want to see what this does in the water.
Yeah.
I want to see how
Jerk
it
bait.
reacts. Yeah,
Yeah.
and this because at first look I would be like, nah, it's not. But now that I have it, I want to try it.
Yeah.
You know.
I wonder how it would perform
Very
around
unique.
those docks. You know the Bagley's theory with the big bill?
Yeah.
You know, like severe angle to the bill to get that thing to go deep, quick.
Deep.
I wonder how that would do.
I wonder.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's a thumping even bait.
don't know.
It's
Reaction strike. It's interesting.
What's that?
Yeah, it's interesting. Jake, what do you got back there?
I got little 3.5 swim baits. We actually got these in a prior box. I took them out on a secret pond near here.
What's the name of that? Is that Joke?
This is the Joko shaker.
Joko.
Yep.
Okay.
Jokers.
I took these out on a local pond that we're really close to right now. I actually caught a 3-pounder on.
Really?
So proven.
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 Proven, folks.
You can catch a fish in South Jersey, you're doing something.
Oh, yeah. You catch one.
And 4 pickerel, but that's besides the point.
Pickerel.
Yeah.
Slime rockets.
And I got
Brian?
a shot of New Riff bourbon.
Is it New
Everybody.
Riff or is it Sex Panther?
New Sex Panther.
Okay. New Sex Panther.
Dude,
Wow.
shout
Is
out
this
to
mine?
Bailey for coming down here.
Yeah.
Whooping
Pete.
that ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the second time, at least the second time, because Ron Champion came down and won the event at Newton.
He did.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Are you saying,
So,
Brian, are you saying Ike Live's lucky?
Probably.
Good picks.
Oh,
I
well.
think
Something
that's what
going
you
on.
tried to say.
But they're both kayak events. And shout out to Jason Fisher for doing a masterful job handling it. That's a
was
sticky
great.
situation, man.
That's a sticky situation, and honestly, I said it kiddingly, but I watched that video repeatedly where you could tell he was very upset and passionate.
Yeah.
But he did it in such a way where, you know, like the whole interview, he was like, "Look, these guys were fucked. It was terrible." But they're human beings. They make mistakes, and I got that from him the whole interview.
Honestly,
that's great. That's great that he has that ability to.
He somehow kept those guys alive.
He kept them alive. He didn't punch him in the face himself,
That
which
I'm telling you,
could have done.
It could have been a mob. It could have
been a mob scene.
It could have been horrible.
Yeah.
Ah, how horrible, dude. A
Death?
broken. No,
Death?
stop.
Nah.
Could have been.
Well,
once guys get their, you know,
Yeah, but these are these guys.
once they get their blood up, man, you don't know.
couple broken noses goes a long way.
It really goes to show the genuine good humanity in the guy for not, you know what I mean, getting all blown out of proportion like I'm sure some of us would.
Yeah. Who would do that?
Well, I mean, the story hit like Fox News and the New York Times.
New York Times.
If it turned into a riot, it would have been bad press.
And TMZ.
Yeah.
Did it really
It's
hit
already
on
bad.
TMZ,
It's
though.
actually already bad press, though. It's already bad press. The whole entire fishing industry is like 20 years behind mainstream America.
That's true.
And now you have something like this. We haven't had a fishing article in the New York Times since ESPN owned Bass. And now the first article back on New York Times is this bullshit.
Well, that's what.
That's a
and if
problem.
that doesn't tell you, shut the freaking news off. Shut it all out of your life because it's all
Yeah, shut
bullshit.
the
It's all
news off.
negativity.
Or are we?
Why would you
doing
watch it?
Yeah. Or are we doing a bad job in the fishing industry on getting our good news and our good messages to mainstream media? And I would argue to say
What would the
we
good
are.
message be? Somebody caught a bass today?
I don't know. I mean, we're
Conservation.
getting new kids fishing, diversity in fishing,
Okay.
conservation. We talked about the good
Yeah,
messages.
winner of the classic.
Like,
winner
why the
of
hell
one of the
isn't
major events?
Why the hell aren't the and I won't even throw any of them directly under the bus, but why aren't the tournament organizations hiring a PR agency,
Why the hell's
Gunpowder,
his camera off?
to get mainstream coverage anymore? What happened to that? Where'd that go?
I was
Why?
I was in the boat my first class or my second classic with a writer from the New York Times.
Me too. My first classic, I had a writer from the New York Times.
Yeah.
Why? Why aren't they doing
That's
that?
an even more interesting challenge with this industry, with the Times being like, if you go, you know, Pete, with your TikTok, you go and post stuff, like, people are, like, anti-hunting, anti-fishing.
They are.
And, like,
There's
some
a
of these
segment.
outlets
Too
are,
many
like, the
Karens.
same way. They won't even touch on
Too
it.
many Karens.
Yeah.
Karen.
Look at
they're looking for a negative
Too
story.
many people that Ike had to deal with.
Yeah, I had to deal with it. Look at Dick's Sporting Goods. Great example. So
Yeah.
I worked at Dick's, and then I was able to parlay that to a sponsorship with Dick's. Well, Christ, there's Dick's now that don't even carry fishing shit because of that. Because they bow down to the pressure of what Bailey just said. I called a Dick's. Where was I? Oh, my God, where was I? I called a Dick's because I was looking for something. Tackle Warehouse didn't have it. I started, like, panicking, call all around. I called a Dick's for something fishing. And they're like, hello, Dick's Sporting Goods. Hey, can you connect me to the fishing department? We don't have a hunting and fishing department here anymore. What? Dude, Dick's was started as a hunting and fishing store in the 40s by Dick.
Mike
Dick.
Ditko.
Can't remember his last name now. Dick, whatever.
Dickinson.
Right.
I got a
You
question
don't
for
have
you.
a hunting and fishing department?
It all started
Are you
when,
fucking kidding me?
Well,
yeah, I mean, they have Field and Stream. Like, they're like that.
Yeah, some stores have field and shrimp. Some stores got rid of it.
It started when Dick started selling firearms, and that's what the
Dude.
trickle-down effect. That's what. it
No
all happened.
good.
Let's not go
Bad.
this road because I'll say Biden, and then somebody will get offended on
Whatever.
fucking
Dick-
rest.
Everybody
Oh,
else.
yeah.
Dick
Yeah.
Stack.
Brian Carpenter. No politics, no religion on this show.
Oliver Nye said he caught a bass once in South Jersey. It's on the message board.
Oh, once.
Shout out
Nice.
to Oliver.
Shout out to Oliver Nye. One bass, one time. South
That's
Jersey.
right.
I got an off-topic question.
Yeah.
So while we got old school and new school in the building,
Woo!
who is your voice of bass? BASS. When you think of the guy that when you hear a tournament, who do you hear?
In bass?
In BASS.
Why? I'm an old school guy, so all my guys are old school guys. You know, when I think of bass, I think of Ray Scott. I think of the video that I watched when I was like a kid, like younger than Bailey, like 15, 16, 17, and it was Brian knows it was. It was like that. Remember that theme, that build up, and it was always like the Bassmaster commercial, where the last clip was Larry Nixon at Megabucks, and it was like an
Big
8-pounder
ass
that
fish.
jumped.
Yeah.
But it
On
was,
that pistol grip rod.
yeah, and then it was like after the it was Bob Cobb, and he was always so matter of fact. He was like, "We're at Gunnersville Lake," and you know what I mean. It was like, dude, to me that's bass. Like that's what I remember. But it's because when I was a kid, it was like, dude, when you're a kid, everything that happens is a memory. You know.
Yeah.
I think Mercer's
old,
done a great job with it.
Oh, Mercer's done great.
Yeah.
Mercer's done a great job of parlaying it.
Yeah.
To the now. You know. Yeah.
Because what I hear when I think of the BASS is Tommy Sanders every day of the week.
Oh,
because,
Sanders is great. Yeah.
Because that's what I've heard for as long as I've been growing up.
Oh yeah.
And it's just that difference of what you hear versus what Pete hears versus what we hear.
Yeah.
Being 20-some.
Yeah.
I loved going back and watching the stuff that I watched today, and it was awesome.
The old school.
And it was Tommy Sanders was looking very young, and he's just steadily. He's like the baseline, man. He's like got to be there in everything.
He's good.
He's really good.
He's good. Here's the thing about Tommy Sanders is good. He's a great personality. He understands the sport enough to be able to roll into other people who know it better.
Right.
Yes.
And he passes that baton well.
He does.
At the exact right moment.
Yeah. And I got to say this. The guy at MLF.
Like if he's a hockey player, he'd have as many goals as assists.
He would.
Yeah, he wouldn't be a straight assist guy, or he wouldn't be a ball hog.
You're right. But I got to say this. The guy at MLF, what's his name?
Chris Jones does the weigh-ins.
Not Chris Jones. The guy at Bass Pro Tour. The MC guy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. He's really good. If you're watching right now still, please send it through. But
gosh, I can't believe
he's really good.
He's
really good.
He's
because
a pro.
Here's the thing. So when I was in MLF, I know the whole thing. Like he came in, they hired him as an announcer from another sport. Like he had worked for
golf
or motocross or whatever it was. But he's a great voice, and he's great at like reading a prompter, and he can speak. Like he's great on camera, right?
Chad McKee.
He's really good, super good, and I love Chad. Shout out to Chad for being a great, at that job. He's great. But the thing that pissed me off and like it sticks with me is there was a tournament the second year I fished with MLF. Remember the year that there were 2 tournaments in a row back-to-back on Table Rock? Do you remember that?
Yes.
You do remember that,
I
right?
I do.
Yes. There was a Table Rock tournament, and then we were supposed to go somewhere.
It was a cancellation.
It was a cancellation, and we went back to Table Rock.
Yeah.
So, dude, I've never talked about this, but, dude, I was so vocal. I'm like, when they canceled that other one, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I was so livid because all the anglers were like, well, cancel. We got to go. We'll go like a week later. But TV and media and all these things controlled when the next tournament would happen. And the deciding factor was Chad McKee.
What?
Yes.
How's that?
Because he was not available that week. And because of that, we had to go back to Table Rock. Dude, I will never forgive MLF, Bass Pro Tour, Chad McKee. I will never forgive them motherfuckers for that.
Oh!
Because it pissed me off. Because a tournament league should not operate under the constraints of a person that doesn't even fish.
He's like
right.
He's like the Chuck Norris of dodgeball.
I'm just saying, and I love him. I think he does a great job. Dude, he's great. He's great. I watched the show. I love it. He's way better than a lot of people. No, he's good. Right, he's good.
Dude.
Bullshit.
Nah, Shelly Sanders all day, bro.
She's got boobs. Good point. But listen.
Yeah,
dude, he's good.
Bad move on their part. They lost me right there.
Dude, you can't it can't be based on the availability of a guy that's a voice
the host
on the show.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's wrong.
You guys, the anglers are the product.
That's wrong. Exactly.
Yeah.
Bailey, that's exactly right. You can't base and that was one of the knives that killed me over there. You know what I mean? Like there was a lot.
I'll be honest. For me,
10 of them.
I can tell that he doesn't come from fishing.
He doesn't come from fishing.
It's obvious to me, and it doesn't have the same feel.
No.
And no offense to him, he's very good. He's very professional, but I can tell.
But Tommy
I'd rather
Sanders
have somebody that's that makes mistakes and is rough and raw, but comes from the sport.
All right, but
I don't need that fucking guy.
Let me be the
you know what I mean?
Let me be devil's advocate here. P's always devil's advocate. Tommy Sanders does not come from fishing. He's not a hardcore fish
He's
head
been
either.
here for a long time.
He's been here for a
dude.
long time, but he's not a fish head.
Yeah.
He is not a fish head.
Chad's awesome, man. I'm telling you, he
probably is.
He helps he marries
I like
all that
Chad.
talent. Like he gets JT.
Oh,
and
he's
his
a
guys
dude.
working
He's
together.
as
Yeah,
good
he puts
as they
peanut
get.
butter
Really
and sand
good.
together and
He's as
really
good as they
good.
get.
makes a sandwich out
But
of it.
when they blamed that whole thing on him, it was the end for me. It was the end of it.
Well,
It was the end of it.
I understand you being upset, but let me go back to something that's positive.
Okay.
Why would we do that?
Watching
That's a bunch of bullshit, Pete.
I know you want to rant, but you know
It's Sunday night.
I
Drinking.
want to
Come on,
agree.
man.
I want to
Sorry.
agree with you because Tommy Sanders was on these old shows. Jerry McInnes was doing his Bash University style commentary.
Yeah.
Zona wasn't there.
Right.
Oh my gosh, his absence was palpable. Like
Yeah.
Palpable.
like Zona, where
Yeah.
like oh my gosh, how awesome
Yeah,
of an
yeah.
addition he was
He's
to
great.
Bassmasters. You know, so and the other one,
So it's like Bass U without BTC.
Let me tell
There it is.
it was but like we had.
Come on, Pete. Let that one sit.
But
in
the
for a
other
second for a
one
minute.
was like Ray Scott,
Yeah.
unbelievable. Then Keith
Allen?
Keith
Keith
Allen.
Allen.
Yes.
Keith Allen was great.
Keith Thomas.
And then you see Dave Mercer breathe life, just breathe it. It seemed like it took a little while.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, does he breathe life into
Oh,
it
yeah.
now? He brings character, so much energy, and Mercer to me now is
I think he's awesome.
Is the voice
I think
hear.
Mercer's awesome. I think Zona's awesome.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think Zona's awesome. Let me tell you this about Zona, and I'll say this real quick. Dude, is Zona the smartest dude in all of fishing?
Yes.
For staying?
Just for staying and for accepting, like, what he does.
Yes.
Because if you remember, Bailey, think back. Zona at one time was your age,
Mm-hmm.
in his
Chasing
20s.
professional
Mark
fishing.
Zona was one time your age. Let that sink in.
No, but he was as good as you were. Dude, I fish with Zona.
Tournament angler.
Dude,
yeah.
Zona is a badass.
He has top
fit.
10.
Way better.
Dude,
Yeah.
he's like you. He's dialed. Dude, Zona's fucking dialed. Like, he's good.
Yeah.
He could compete, right? But at some point, Zona said he's like buddies with real tight with Kevin. He's real, he's good friends with everyone in the fishing industry at this point. But he's like, nah, dude, I'm just gonna do my thing, do my show, got my family, everything's good. You know what I mean? Like
That was on an Ike Live show, wasn't it? When he dialed into all that.
pretty much. Like he's probably the smartest dude in the whole industry of
Yeah.
fishing. Yeah, I really believe
I
that.
talked to him and others about it. Like, don't you miss it? Like I loved fishing the Chesapeake,
Yeah.
the Northern Opens.
Yeah.
I don't know how you not do it.
Compete at some level. You're
Like
saying.
just it's so much fun.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah. don't know.
I come alive like when I'm there, and
Right.
when the pressure's on and it's exciting. You
Right.
know,
Those
but-
moments, the launch, the
Yeah.
weigh-in, the last cast.
Yeah. There's times when
Yeah.
it sucks. You know, you can't find the fish.
Yeah. This whole
weather
year for
sucks.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You fucking crushed the open.
Getting chased
There
by
it
the
is.
Aberdeen guys on the last day. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
You know, but they were
Aberdeen
able
guys.
to walk. Like they don't want to go
I don't
back
want to
to
talk
it.
about that, Brian.
You know. Did you go in there during the derb?
No, I didn't go in there. I was fucking running back from Middle River.
Do we need to call Jason in to have a final decision on
No,
this?
no final decision.
Polygraph?
Who's Jason?
The guy we had on earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Walleye guy,
Turn
Brian,
direct
keep
walleye
up.
All right, this is
Oh,
a
you,
great.
you do shots, Paul.
Welcome to BT.
He'd start drinking.
This is a great segue, dude. What a great show, Brian the Carpenter. Here's the thing. Let me bring this up real quick. What a great way to get toward the end of the show. And of course, we got to pick a winner.
Shout out Serious Angler.
Yeah, but let me get.
Yeah,
to this.
we didn't even get those podcasts.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't.
No.
I know. There's so much we missed. Jesus.
Dude, he's had a podcast how many years now? It's in the notes.
3.
3 years.
300 shows.
He's over 300 shows. We're coming up on 10 years.
Right.
We're at about half that.
But but here's the difference. Let me highlight the
you're
difference.
competing professionally. I get it.
Quality over
No,
quantity.
there's more difference than that. And Bailey, that's awesome. That's great because yes,
that's a hustling
that is
right there.
Yeah, hustle's great. And Pete knows, like young people that and I can say this with my own kids and throwing myself under the bus. Less hustle in young people today, so it's great to see it.
Absolutely,
in young
it's
people.
great to
I love
see the
that.
hustle.
Yeah, another round of applause.
And that hustle is a positive thing.
It
Not
is a
hustle
it is
in
a
like
positive.
you're stuffing weights in a walleye.
Right.
It's a different kind of
hustle.
hustle.
Right, in a different way. But where was I going with this? Oh, the difference in podcasts. The difference in podcasts. And, I honestly, Bailey, I don't know yours in particular, but a lot of the podcasts out there right now are very traditional podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
They come on, it's one-on-one. It's a 40-minute podcast. Dude, we are not a 40 – fuck, we've been doing almost 10 years. This is the theatrics, bro. Dude, do you realize it's almost 12 o'clock at night?
Get the hell out of here.
Hell fucking yeah. So, listen, we've done less shows, but, dude, this is content. This is substance.
That's right.
Quality
and we
over
haven't
quantity.
That's right.
Quality. Listen, we've been on this long. We haven't been fired yet by anybody, which is, I don't know why.
Your career's still active, yeah.
My career's still active. We push the line every show, but
no cancellations.
Dude, people will watch, and I love this about Ike Live. People will watch. We've got people right now listening to this. They're like, yeah, that's me. They've been listening from the very beginning for 3-4 freaking hours. That's powerful. And thank you, guys. If you're watching and you're that person, thank you, dude, because it's been awesome. I love this show because of that. We're different. We got a different show here. We're characters. It's a different show. And that's the difference, Brian. That's why we don't have 852 podcasts.
That's right. And we're coming up on 10 years this February.
Oh, Pete!
Yeah.
10 years?
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
Yes.
I do something special for that one, man.
Dude.
Holy
It's
crap.
crazy. It's crazy. And I like where we're at now. We've advanced. We've changed.
I still have nightmares about the Ed Bassmaster episode.
Oh, yeah. That was an early one. Yeah, I'm comfortable.
I was at his house last night,
Strange,
and I
weird.
brought that up, how I was like, Ed, you know how bad how uncomfortable you make Pete feel?
Jason just found that episode number 1.
Wow.
And it'll be uploaded when I upload this one.
Yeah.
I had to listen to the whole thing though, make sure it could pass through the system.
Was
but
that episode 1?
It was episode 1.
Wow.
And the non-episode Trent Cole episode.
Trent Cole was an episode that would never happen because
we only know that episode
because it never recorded.
It never recorded or went out on the airwaves.
So was that that
was like
2?
No, that was like 3 or 4.
3 or 4.
Randy Howe was episode 2.
Episode 2.
So we did the very first show the weekend you were leaving for the Classic.
Yeah.
That day, your boat and truck were arriving wrapped for the first time.
yeah.
You had a photo shoot going on, and Mark Jeffries was here finishing the touches on the studio. It's like all that was going on, and you were leaving the next day for the Classic. That was show
Typical.
1.
Typical.
Yeah. And when you came back, we had Randy who won on a Livingston crankbait.
Livingston DT
DT6.
DT6 crankbait and demon.
That's right.
On the rip route.
And Randy was our first guest.
Randy was first guest.
Too.
And we learned early on, Bailey, I don't know if you've learned this or not, but
yeah.
the controlling factor of a guest. Like, it was like early on in our podcast, it was great because we didn't know what we were doing. I didn't even know what a podcast was. I didn't even listen to podcasts. I didn't know the hell what I was doing. But we have Randy on, and Randy just talked for like an hour and a half. And we were just kind of like, we just sat back, almost like
what's going on?
Tranquilized by what?
Are you going to interrupt him? Should we interrupt him?
I know.
Yeah.
What are we supposed to do?
What are we supposed to do?
Kind of like me today.
Yeah, kind of like
Kinda
Paul.
like me.
Like, I didn't know any better. Yeah. Paul, you'll get better.
The only
at
time
interrupting
Paul
us.
spoke up and interrupted anybody was in between parts 1 and 2 of my question. But I clearly said,
I know.
all right, I got two things
I know
here.
I can get away with interrupting you. I don't want to interrupt Mike.
Motherfucker.
Paul preys on the weak.
Paul, he
prays
controls
on
your
the weak.
microphone, bro.
Son of a bitch. That's hurtful, Mike.
No, I'm just messing around.
And that's why I didn't go pro.
No, I know. But Paul will learn the art of interrupting more as he gets more
Interrupt somebody else.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you
Paul, I mean, this is only your
you'll be zooming in from
7th, 8th
here
show
on out,
this?
Paul.
Something like that. Third one in studio.
Third one in studio, 7th, 8th show. All right, you'll learn, Paul.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Bailey, one of
You'll learn to interrupt other people, or you'll be
Right.
Yeah, I know.
Will you stop
Yeah.
interrupting me
Like
while
you
I'm
did-
trying to interrupt you?
Yeah, and you just interrupt Jake. Jake, what do you got?
one,
Oh, jeez.
one of the better serious angler.
Oh, he
shows.
just turned
Oh,
it.
he just
Don't
turned
turn
it
him
off.
off. That's bullshit.
Don't tell me how to run the show.
Whatever.
Oh, wow. He's striking back.
Whatever.
One of Bailey's better shows was the non-traditional 3 guys on mics arguing about swimbait heads, and it's something you think like, no, I'm not gonna listen to that. It was in depth. It kept you entertained. The guy saying you're wrong, I throw this, and other guy said no, you're wrong, I throw this.
Now, see, I'm glad you said that because now I'm going to go back and listen to that specific episode.
Arguing over
episode was
swimbait
that?
heads.
Do you know what number that was?
I can't remember. For
Okay,
the life
I'm
of me.
It was
But
in
I'll
the-
send it to you.
You sent it to
I'll
me.
send it to you.
But it's out there. It's in
It
the
is.
it's in the multiverse.
Yes.
It's in
It's
the
in the
mega
space.
structure of the moon
It's in the space.
somewhere. Okay.
Yeah.
Moral of the story is throw the mega
fake
bass
moon,
one
The fake moon.
Yeah, that's right.
with the spin head.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it goes in depth into why you throw certain sizes with a certain
See,
size hook.
I like that argument. Like
Yeah.
that's Pete. That's a BU argument.
Is the-
because I'm like 90 degree, 60 degree inline. Like I like that whole argument. I like that. I want to listen to that.
I was on Bailey's podcast.
That's
He
a BU
was.
argument. I like it.
Yep.
Oh, was Brian like this the whole time?
He's one of the OGs.
Yeah.
Did
He was like, "Why'd you guys call me?"
Did he do this?
No, we just
Did-
talked some shit for
did
an
he-
hour.
Did he speak?
Did he
He did.
speak? Was he sweaty? Was he
did.
nervous?
No. he
What?
was-
That's so weird.
He was all in on it.
Why is
was
he
all
sweaty
in.
and nervous on this show then?
I ain't sweaty and nervous.
Yes, you are.
He's just
Yeah.
drinking.
Too much.
The best part of our first show that's going to come out, Mark says, "Yeah, Brian's figuring out how to push the buttons," and I want to save that clip and post it because it's still here 150 shows later.
That's so great. That's so great.
Fixed.
No, but the point is, Brian. The point is, we don't have the most shows. We are definitely not the best show, and I know I've said that. I've said we're the best Fisher podcast ever. We're not the best.
Nah.
But dude, we have something. No, but listen.
Hell to the nah.
No.
Thanks for the support.
No, but seriously, we do have something here that's special.
That's
we do
right.
have substance here because
Hell
listen,
yeah.
dude, I do a lot of, I'm out a lot, out and about, and people, in the order of what people say, they never say, "Great job winning the Classic in 03. Great job winning the Angler of the Year in 06. Great job of winning on the Delaware in 2014. They're like the highlights of my career. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody even fucking remembers that, Paul.
I gave a crap about that 7-pounder you called last year.
Right. But they do say, we love the show. I love the show. And I say, what show? Because I want to know.
BU.
And it's always Ike Live or BU or City Limits Fishing, which was 100 years old. So it is good. It's a good feeling. It is nice to hear that. Even though we're only 100 and whatever shows in, 10 years later.
Nah, that's all good, dude.
We got substance, bro. People
right.
relate to us.
Quality.
People like us. We're dumb. We drink beer. We curse. It's good, man. People like that shit.
Yep.
Regular
It's
dudes.
real.
Regular dudes that don't stuff weights and fish.
That's right.
Got to catch them to stuff them.
Yeah. I mean,
Damn.
Yeah. Your dad, Jake, said in the last, so we had the last Ike Foundation youth event. Not youth like little kids youth, but youth high school, junior tournament event. And your dad was out there, and we're both sucking ass on Union. And he's like, "How you doing?" I'm like, I just gave him the thumbs down because I felt bad for my guys. They were 2 high school kids, and they weren't really catching them. Like, I just went like this, and he goes, "If you're not scoping," wait, what did he say?
Yeah,
he
if you
said,
ain't scoping,
"If you're
you're
not
hoping."
scoping, you're hoping." And I was like, "Damn, you're kind of right," And I was like, I felt bad, and then I was like thinking, and I'm like, man, I won an AOY and a Classic not scoping. I was like, I won those hoping.
Yep.
I'm like, you can still catch some hoping.
That's all I did
Yeah.
from the bank.
Yeah, and you hope today, right?
That's right.
You didn't scope any, did you?
Hoped them all with a frog.
Hoped them all with a frog.
Your kayak is rigged though, right? You got 2 graphs on.
No,
it?
he's rigged, but he didn't scope.
Not today, but
he hoped.
Oh, it was today. I wasn't sure what to expect, so I packed that thing to the brim just to throw one rod all day.
What do you got on that? Like two graphs?
I got 2 Homebird Helix units, Mega Live, a bunch of crap that I didn't need today.
Yeah,
that's dope.
And
Hey,
$3,700.
it's good to have it, just in case.
Keith Poche, he's not scoping.
Doesn't
Not
need it.
scoping.
He doesn't even have transducers on his
Oh.
stuff.
Should I say this or no?
I have no idea. Probably not. If you gotta ask
Probably.
me.
No,
go
you
for it.
should.
Let me
Yeah,
just
go
say it
for it.
real
You
quick.
should say it.
So, and I say this. This is. Let me preface this because people will rewind this and butcher me. This is kidding. This is like funny. You know, like we try to be tongue in cheek
haha.
shit. Yeah. So my concept was, let's do a show where we interview a pulley.
Oh.
A pulley system. You know a pulley?
Yeah, like
And we put the pulley in that chair you're in right there and put the headphones on the pulley, and we interview the pulley about Keith Poche's win. It was just a joke. It was just all a joke, you know?
on whether it was used appropriately. You mean?
I mean, yeah. We could ask the pulley a lot of questions about that win on the Red River. It was just, it was kind of a joke, but I thought
Dave
it would be
wasn't
funny.
here. He's in Florida,
Right.
running a marathon.
Right.
As Goofy.
Right.
So we couldn't do it.
Do you think how pissed would you have been if rocks were pushed
Oh,
in
that's horrific.
on your spot?
Oh, that's
going
not
in the
good.
last day?
That's crap. That's crap. That's not right. If that happened, that's not right. I don't know the whole story. I don't even want to get into it. This is a whole other show. We can go for another hour. But that's
Yeah.
not right. But
That's
then
bullshit.
to call someone that's not in the tournament to have the rocks removed is also not right.
That happened?
I don't know. Bailey?
Well,
So this isn't fact. This is just what I've heard from other shows he's been on. I've talked to Keith, but I haven't specifically talked about this because I just don't want to get in the middle.
Right.
Of it. But I believe I heard I think it was BTL that fans had jumped in that were following him, jumped in and moved the rocks.
Okay. Right. So if he wasn't involved at all,
Yeah.
it's all good. It's all good. And that's fine. Like if fans were like, this is bullshit, you know, it wasn't induced by him, it's cool. But if he made a call or a text and said, get rid of those rocks, I have a problem with that.
So if, like on the Delaware, fans were involved to keep people from fishing.
Yeah.
Right? Like we were out there making sure guys weren't like, because the Delaware is the Delaware. Let's be honest. There's no reason to fish the Delaware River.
Right.
Pretty much ever.
It's the worst.
Pretty much ever.
Yeah.
Right? But then to show up on the Delaware River during the only Bassmaster tournament that's ever going to show up there, and you're going to be fishing some juice.
Right.
Fuck you, dude.
Right. That's wrong.
Like,
But-
seriously.
Right. So, and
Like,
here's a great
that
analogy.
dude's got a tiny little,
Right.
teeny little one.
Yeah, and you guys had at a lot of those guys, but I didn't induce it. Fine.
No,
Totally
you
fine.
weren't even around. That Cruz, John Cruz was in that area, and some other guys.
Right.
Byron with his shirt off.
Right. Byron with his shirt off. Yep.
Yeah, but those guys, they had no business being out
They
there.
had no business being out there.
They were there
But-
for one reason, to try to measure
All right,
penises.
but the people the viewers, spectators influenced the outcome of that tournament by chasing them guys off.
They did.
Damn right.
But
And
not,
we also
but it wasn't
influenced-
induced by the
Wasn't
competitor.
induced by the competitor.
But we also influence the outcome if we don't chase them off.
That's
No.
true.
Yes.
Yes, that is true.
Well, that's true.
Yes.
But you took action
Fucking right. Dude.
on behalf of
on behalf of right
of
and wrong.
whoever.
On behalf of right and wrong.
Well,
Flat.
Well,
Yeah.
let's
Not
take,
arguable.
Let's take this quick second, and we can change it back to. I want to do a show. I would like to do a show on exactly this topic. I want to do a whole fucking show on this topic because I got butchered for it at Kentucky Lake this year for
Oh, yeah, you
saying
did.
this shit,
Mm-hmm.
and it's bullshit. It's fucking bullshit.
Talk to me.
Dude, if there were dudes on Kentucky Lake this year, I sucked. I had a horrible tournament. I hurt my. It was terrible for me.
All right.
There were dudes out there fishing 3-4 to a boat on the ledges, cranking like it was. They were in.
Like it was
they were
1999.
fishing for the classic.
That's right.
It's bullshit to me.
3 to 4 on a boat. What do you mean by that?
3 to 4 dudes on a boat, on a fully rigged Phoenix power poles.
Are you saying they were practicing for somebody?
No, I'm saying they were out there to try to catch more than the elite guys. In their soul, that's what they wanted. They wanted to prove they could catch more than the elite guys.
That was the big controversial.
I'm saying
video.
It was never, ever,
That's where that came
ever
from.
my intention to say that you can't be on a public fishery.
Yeah.
Pete, I fucking know that. Are you kidding me? I come from Jersey. There's more douchebags in this state than anywhere in the world. I would never say that. Bailey, I would never say that.
PvPs.
I'm not saying,
All in.
dude, Paul, you know, I'm a bank fisherman too. You know that.
Yeah, you fish everywhere, yeah.
Dude, I would never say you cannot fish on a public fishery. My point was, why would you go on Kentucky? Why would you go on, what lake were we on? Fucking Pickwick. Why would you go on Pickwick with 2, 3, 4 dudes on your boat and crank away like you were in a tournament during the event if you were a fan of bass and you were a fan of bass fishing? Why? That's all I'm saying.
I'm with you, Mike.
Right, you heard me say it before.
I know it goes back and forth.
I don't give a fuck.
I know.
You heard me say it before.
Yeah.
Dude, if you're with your 90-year-old grandfather that's got a year left to fish.
Yeah.
Go
Different
for
story.
it.
You're with your kids.
Dude, if you're with your kids, go for it.
Yeah.
If you're out
you
there,
plan this week and
go
it's your
for it.
week.
Go
yeah.
for it. If you're with your wife, if you're idling around graphing because you have a BFL the next week, go for it. Love you, man. Go for it. You're working your ass off. If you're out there and you have no other reason to be out there except to beat the elites, fuck you, you motherfucker.
There it is.
All they want to do is boost their ego.
Cut that clip.
You know?
Cut that clip. Cut it. Mark this time because I want to do a whole show on this because I want to.
Thanks for tuning in.
No, bullshit.
And the Facebook winner.
I would love to argue this point soberly with no alcohol to people.
That'd be a good start.
Because I'm so set on my
listen,
thought,
I agree.
my theory.
Paul, who was the dude on Facebook?
I'm
from
so
Jersey?
set on my theory.
Bill Voorhees. He made a whole post complaining about it.
All right,
and it's
Bill
like,
Voorhees. F you, Bill Voorhees.
Yeah, I blocked.
That's from me to you.
I blocked that.
Jason
bastard.
Voorhees was,
Jason
of course,
Voorhees,
the
yes.
the
I don't know who that dude is, but
the dude with the mask.
what a
blocked
twat,
him.
man!
Yeah.
What a
Jason
just
Voorhees.
attention-seeking
Go back to
twat.
Halloween, you
I feel
prick.
like
Pete, bad moves. I'm sorry.
That should
Pete's
No,
gonna
I've heard it so many times over the years. Guys that are out there and they love the sport and they have a knowledge of a body of water, and they're interested in measuring themselves against what the elites are.
How about the week?
weighing in.
How about like if the elite ends on a Sunday, go out on a Monday. If the elite starts on a Thursday, go out on a Wednesday. Go measure yourself. How about that?
And they want to brag and boast. Oh, I caught 20 pounds today, and
it's crap, dude.
The heavy bag from and
you're not a fan of the sport if you do it. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Honestly, that's the point. Right?
That's the
They
point. But
have
here's
every right to fish. They have every right to do whatever they want to do.
But here's
if you're a fan of the sport,
here's
then
what
you shouldn't
pisses
be
me
doing
off
it.
even more about it, though. Let's get above the person. Let's get above Voorhees now. Let's go to the pros. Let's go to the pros who aren't saying shit about it. And I get it. I totally get
it's
it.
everybody.
It's everybody.
Nobody
I totally get
has
it.
a word to
you
say.
got a body of 100 anglers, and 90 of them are
99.
I get it, Bailey. Listen, they're early in their career. They've got sponsorships on the line. I get it. I totally get it. But, dude, to not speak up about it or to do the opposite and say, I saw a post from a few of the pros were like, oh, this was unfortunate, but the water's public, and they post a video or whatever. That's fucking crap. Dude, be honest. Be honest. Because when the other pros, the body of pros aren't stepping up to say what's real, it hurts. It hurts the whole thing. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be honest about it.
Well, yeah, I get that. But not everybody can handle the negative exposure like you can. Right? You're a multifaceted business guy that's got this thing going. You know what I mean? A lot of guys are man, they're just making it. They're not capable of being that controversial or want to draw that kind of criticism onto themselves or their sponsors. So it's very difficult for a lot of guys to speak up in that way.
Right.
I think there's something to be said too, though. Like, there's an education aspect to it, where there's with COVID. Speaking on COVID, so many new anglers, so many new people in the water.
Yeah.
They don't understand the ethics. There might be some people out there that don't understand.
No, there is. And
There's
that's
a tournament out
percentage.
here.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be out here right now because
I
there's
think there
guys
is
out here
I think
making
there
a
is a
living.
percentage there.
Yeah.
And
Well, there was a situation with me last year. I was, my first show, I was telling you guys about. I caught my PB 6.7 pounder, and there was there was a local tournament going on there. And the only reason I decided to fish that particular lake that day was because a buddy of mine, Adam, he makes his own, carves his own baits and stuff. He told me to meet him there because he had a bait to give me. So I'm like, all right, I meet him there. We talk. He hands me my bait. And I'm just fishing around the bank, just staying out of their way.
Yeah.
And I catch his 6-something. And then some guy commented on that post that Voorhees guy made saying, dude, didn't you brag about catching a giant during a tournament last year or whatever? And I'm like, dude, I was on the bank in the corner of the lake, out of everybody's way.
Yeah.
I can't help that there was a 6-pounder in that corner where I was throwing my jig.
Yeah.
I wasn't getting in their way.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a difference between.
And plus, I was invited to fish there.
Right.
To
And
meet-
you didn't
meet
know
the
the
guy.
tournament was going on.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
And-
I knew
and-
the tournament was there, but I wasn't going on the water.
Paul, we get 3 Hail Marys and what? Everybody here Catholic? What else they say?
Pete, you Catholic?
You got to
Yeah,
apologize,
Our
Paul.
Fathers, Hail Marys.
Yeah, Paul, you were wrong.
Glory be.
Virgin Mary.
You're wrong, Paul.
My bad. Well, he
Bill
told me,
Voorhees was
he
right.
told me to meet me there.
It's all right. The
Whatever.
point is,
I stayed out of their way.
guys that are trying to,
Except for that 6-pounder.
Yeah.
My bad.
But here's let me.
But no, but the difference, Paul, is $5,000 entry fees. Life's dreams. Like I know these guys. Like some guys have made it, they're established, and some guys are freaking walking that thin line of their dreams, the dreams that they've chased, and then it collapsing, then going back to a job at
And on top
UPS
of that, one of the
with Darren
competitors
Brooks,
told me to come there and meet him there. You know what I mean?
No, but regardless of that, I'm saying like at the level where Mike's at, these guys are
much more money on the line.
a lot more money on the
off,
line.
Paul. I was going to catch that 6-pounder.
Yeah, Pete
I was
was
in
out
that
here.
tournament.
I didn't even say what
I
lake
was
it
just
was.
about to go to that corner.
You don't
He
even
was
know
I
what
was
lake.
just about to do it.
Give me that.
Yes, he was. He was throwing a black Senko. I swear.
Oh, man.
I
Bailey, how
promise
many
you.
hours of sleep you had?
0.
Since when?
Look at that. Look at the eyes. Look at Bailey's eyes. You can see it. In
About
his
4
eyes.
days ago.
So,
Yeah,
so you left your house at what time on Saturday? Friday.
3.
Huh?
3.
3 a.m. and you got to
On Friday. 3 a.m. on Friday.
3 on Saturday.
Saturday.
Oh,
3
Saturday
a.m.
morning. Okay.
It's all good. It's just one.
What time you get to knock?
9.
Okay.
Wow. But there's euphoria, and that euphoria and energy will bump you up. And
I'm
keep
young.
You
I
going.
gotta use it while I
Dude,
got it.
you got the dub.
That's right.
You got
It's
the
worth
dub.
it. Worth
Yeah.
it.
So.
So awesome.
That brings it back when we won when I won the classic. I
No,
say,
no,
I
this
say
is
wings.
win.
It's like a team event.
Has
When
to-
I won the classic, I fished that last day. Think about the day, and the pressure, and then the interviews. And then we went partying all night, and like literally, I remember this. I think I've told the story before, but we partied all freaking night, and we got back to the hotel, which was the host hotel where Bass was at. And Gerald Crawford was still the photographer for Bass. That's how long ago it was.
Yeah.
And Gerald, like I remember him, saying, "Oh, we have to meet you in the morning." And we were walking back in at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning from partying, and they were in the lobby of the hotel, the photographers, waiting for us to walk down the steps. And we walked in the front.
That's awesome.
So me and McGraw handed you off, and we went upstairs.
You went
to sleep.
upstairs. I got handed off. So I know I've said this before. This will probably cause shitstorm too. But on my cover,
Wait.
my Bassmaster cover,
Oh boy.
when I won the classic, I was drunk out of my mind. Yeah,
And no sleep.
no sleep, still
Nah,
hammered,
that's all
hammered.
It was
That's how
good.
it should be.
The vampire himself, Travis Manson, we were down at, I believe it was Knoxville Classic. He was walking in the door. We're going in the morning down the launch. He's walking in to go grab his bag at 5 o'clock in the morning and walk back down the launch. He got about 3 minutes. He said he walked in, laid in bed, and his partner woke him up and said, yo, let's go. We got to go take pictures. And walked right back down and back to the launch he went.
Wow.
Yep, about 3 minutes of sleep, he said.
Yeah, Travis don't sleep.
All right, Brian, it was a great show. I just want to recap
It was.
this. This was a freaking great show. I actually don't want it to end, but it has to end.
It has to end.
Has to end.
Really soon.
Thank you for watching and listening tonight. We've got one more thing to do. Jake?
Yep.
We're going to give away this amazing, what'd you call it? How many pounds?
12.
12. 18 pounds.
Full of lead.
Full lead.
We're sending lead
Do you
sinkers.
need these?
Nah, throw them in.
You sure? All right.
Half.
That's a lot
Let's
of
throw one in there.
cost
Heck
shipping.
yeah.
There you go. That's 33 pounds.
19 pounds of gifts, and this was a like and share contest. Thank you for watching over on Facebook. Jake, let's do it. Let's give away this thing. What do we got?
The winner is Bruno Duffield.
Bruno
Duffield?
We don't talk
Bruno
about
Duffield.
Bruno. No.
There it is.
Bruno Duffield, you are the winner.
Is he Italian and
Congratulations.
Swedish?
He's Melvillian.
Is it Mavillion?
That's
Just happens
awesome.
to be.
A Millvillain.
I like the name. Bruno, thank you for liking and sharing that feed, and you're the winner of that contest. Pete, it was a great show.
Great show, man.
Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. Paul, thank you.
Great show.
Bailey.
I love these old stories.
great having you on.
I love
Appreciate it,
hearing them,
fellas.
man.
It was great. Jake, thank you for handling all those crazy messages. Brian the Carpenter producing a great show. And Brian, I want to say again, thank you for tracking that guy down, both of you guys. That was crazy.
I'm on it. I just need the okay for
That
you.
was super cool.
Yesterday,
dude.
you're like, all right. Bailey and the winner, nice, easy show.
Yeah.
Nothing too crazy. You know,
Short
I
show.
like that. I like that.
Yeah.
First
Oh,
thing
he
this
made
morning,
it
I
easy.
get, get the tournament
Get the
director from the
walleye.
walleye guy. Yo, Lou's blowing away.
Illuminati's winning. Get Lou on.
Lou's
Yeah.
winning. Get Lou on. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
It all changed, yeah. But it was a great show, and want to thank everybody for tuning in
Bailey,
tonight.
thank
Yeah.
you for winning.
Yes.
So we only had to have one guest.
Yes, thank you for shortening the show. We would have been on till 2 a.m.
The way Mike's talking right now.
Yes, it was a great show. But
Indeed.
thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Have a great night.
Oh.
We'll see you in the next one. Yeah.
You got the video?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go out to a video. What do you got, Brian?
We got a video.
All right, thank you for watching tonight.
Men at the walleye weigh-in.
All right, thank you for watching. We're going to go out to a great video that's probably the best
wait.
thing that's ever happened in the entire world of fishing. Good night,
Sorry,
and we
wrong
will
one.
see you on the next one.
This one.
Okay, go ahead. Good night, everybody. Love you. Hit play. Press the button. Just hit play. Press the button. Just gotta press play. You can do it. That's all you gotta do.
Use the mouse.
It's just a damn YouTube video. Just press play. Go ahead.
You're welcome.
All right, she chased me off of that dock. She chased me off that dock, but what everybody doesn't know is I caught one off that dock right before she came down.
Really?
I caught like a 2-pounder off that dock. I wasn't coming back anyway. I had enough of that dock. I wasn't going to come back. So when she came down to chase me off that dock, I was like,
I'm
hey,
done.
chase me off this dock? I'm fucking done anyway, bitch.
Yeah.
That's cool. So I just trolled on down to see this next dock down here. I'm like, I like those big gaps. I like those long gaps between docks because it's like, it's not like dock. It's like a dock, giant space, another dock, good dock, right? Isolated, you know. So I'm like, oh shit, I'll go down to this dock. That's cool. This is a good dock too because it fits the mold, you know, fits the pattern. I caught one off that dock. There might be one off this dock, right? It's a proximity. So I'm like, oh shit, nobody gonna own this dock down here. Go down this dock.
This
cool,
is my
though.
favorite part. Your transition from, I was nice
Nice
to you
guy.
before.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But now I'm gonna stay.
Oh yeah.
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 No more Mr. Nice Guy.
It's plain gone past.
She egged him on.
Oh, yeah.
She did.
She asked for it.
She had it coming.
And I'm not hitting the dock. You don't hear any pings.
Yeah.
Any pangs.
Yeah. I'll learn this at Dick's, working at Dick's. I know how to cast. Cast down the aisles a million times. I know how to do it.
Middle?
That's a crop duster, by the way, folks.
Middle.
Middle?
Hear that
This
plane?
is middle.
It's a radial engine.
Yeah.
Yep, hear that? It's radial.
Oh, I thought that was yours.
It's all ours.
All ours.
You don't own the water, bro.
Like the whole river?
What is this, Russia?
Fish here. Okay. I've been fishing 30 years. I'm a homeowner on the water myself. I would never damage anybody's property. I would never get my line. I'm really good, trust me. No,
I think you got hung up in the eelgrass. I think that's what you was talking about.
You can call the cops. I'm not leaving now. I was going to leave nice before, but I'm not leaving now. You can call the cops.
That's my favorite part.
Call the cops, call DNR, call the government, call Biden. Probably love him. Okay. Sounds like it.
That's beautiful.
Sounds like it.
Listen, the bass live under the docks.
I know where the bass live.
Okay. Okay, bye, Karen.
What'd she say? How about you go what?
Go back in the woods.
Oh!
In the woods. Go back in the woods. I don't even hunt. God damn it. I do like the woods. I like to go out in my woods and like masturbate alone every once in a while, but I don't hunt. I don't even hunt.
Stop it.
I'm just saying.
What is that thumbnail, bro?
Fuck is that, Jake?
Who is that?
Why don't you change the camera? There it is.
Okay.
Did
the show end or are we still on?
No, show's over.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's go out to Pete.
Say
Good night,
goodbye.
everybody.
Let's roll.
Oh my lord.
Oh my God. I'm all right. I'm cool.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm cool.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Was that live?
Yeah, you're live. It's good that he's smiling. Very good that he's smiling. That was graceful. Staying calm.
Dude,
Getting to the ladder. Yeah, Bass Cat has a built-in ladder. Very nice feature.
Lord have mercy. Come on, man.
Oh my goodness.
Welcome to the Chesapeake.
Yes.